What they did with the rebasing of Nigeria's GDP was fantastic. But to be honest with you, whoever was sitting on Solicitor General's seat in terms of doing that did not properly capture Nigeria's economy.
So you think that our GDP today is understated?
I think it's understated. If we could capture the informal economy, Nigeria's GDP at least goes up 50%.
I don't agree with your 50%
What kind of math
thesis.
is that?
What we've done is ensure that the informal sector has a reason to remain informal.
So banks have made a lot of profits, and government has taken 100 billion estimated out. And if banks are making this much profit, where are they making it from?
It's a circular economy. It's not the bank that determines what the FX rate is. If I have a book, and typically you want to match your FX obligations to your FX assets. If I have now made these revaluation gains, that have now become realized, why should I be punished for it for taking a position?
For a lot of employers, there is, in quotes, more money in the bank, but there's less purchasing power. Yeah, because your volumes have actually dropped.
This is the painful thing. What the rich people have built is infrastructure. I am a guy that has a shop in Aspamda. I sell whatever I sell. But every time I sell goods to you, I get money into my bank accounts. The bank gets a cut of every transaction I do. At the end of the year, they gather all these fees and they go and put it in the money market. Me in Aspanda, I'm now looking for loan. I can't get it from the same bank that has collected fees from me and now is waiting for FG to pay 20-something%.
What exactly is happening on the alternative side?
I'm going to say again, I don't have lights.
No, I'm brand A, dude.
You know, when you say power sector in Nigeria, I don't like when we use the word expert. Expert means is working, is functional, is existing the way that it should. Of course, we know that it's not working the way that it should. I say to folks that if you really want rapid change and rapid scale, there needs to be involvement of the discos in anything that you're doing in Nigeria.
So this whole thing about AI taking jobs and all that, maybe we're just the ones fooling ourselves.
With every innovation that has come, what you've always had is there's been this over-exaggeration of what it would lead to in terms of unemployment. And what we've always found is that new types of employment come about.
300 years ago, people were going into the
still
earth.
farming here. They're still
They're still there today. There will still be jobs for everybody. It is us that is worried about Anthropic.
I read somewhere as well that
There are a lot of
AI might
people.
also destroy prostitution.
What I have been able to see about my interactions with AI is that it is very consistent in understanding who you are as a person. Imagine this person as a spouse.
Hello everyone, welcome to Drinks and Mics, brought to you by Nairametrics. My name is Ugodre, and we do this every Friday on this channel. 6 p.m. we go live on Nairametrics TV. So if you're just watching for the first time, just go online, click on that notification button and turn it on. And of course, subscribe so that you can get new episodes as they drop. We have a full house in the house today, and I am so excited to be back. Because Tunji was just like,
Tunji's doing a great job.
he was just basically dominating the entire comment section. You guys forgot Arnold was there. You guys didn't even recognize Arnold. I saw one comment, by the way. Some guy said, "Wow, I like hearing Arnold talk." I was like, "Ooh. Arnold was talking." So I was like, "Okay, all right, yeah, it's good to be back."
I've never been heard. I've never actually felt being called an onk. But it was in the comment section.
Oh, they called you an onk.
I was
Uncle
like,
Tunji.
oh my God, is how
I call you Uncle Tunji now. I call you Uncle Tunji all the time.
I felt like
So who did they call an onk then?
It was me. The guy
So
the
who
guy
else
said something
did-
about, he was like, Tunji, they say Tunji is something, but honk is something. I was like, hey, go on.
A honk or an
No,
uncle?
as in UNC, as in honk.
Ah,
I
okay,
was
okay.
like, why?
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
Well,
Whenever you say stuff like this, I kind of feel like maybe you're trying. Are you like throwing darts at me or something? Are you throwing shades at me?
No. At least I'm not the oldest here. That's
Better
what's
not be throwing
important.
shades.
Actually, I feel like you have more white hair. Is it just me?
Who?
Yeah.
Trey has more money.
Yeah, I mean, I hear it happens when you go to Vegas a lot. So
Okay.
That means
Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
don't mind these guys. Anyway, good to be back. So we've got a full house, and of course, you already, can see on the screen right now as we pan wide to our guest. We've got a guest in the house. Before we get to the guest, let's speak to Pelumi. Is here. Pelumi, a member of the gang now. Right. So
looking like
we will initiate you very soon as a member of the gang, because Pelumi is here, has been here a few times and Drinks and Mike. I really appreciate him for always turning up. As you can see, it's a full house because there's a lot to discuss today. So many things going on at the same time. Even as we're here, some news are dropping, and we're like, do we bring them on the show or not? But anyway, we have a special guest in the house. I'm going to let him introduce himself, as I like to do.
Boom.
Introduce yourself, sir.
So hi everyone. My name is Mojola, and I'm the CEO for Gridcrux. Gridcrux is a tech and power infrastructure company, and we focus predominantly on renewable generation and distribution infrastructure.
Welcome to Drinks and Mics. Appreciate you.
Trust Tunji to come in.
You don't know
the Inquisition.
You don't know what infrastructure and power company is.
Me, I'm glad there's a power guy here
You
because I
don't
have
know
a
what
lot
it
of
means?
questions, man.
No.
You don't know what power infrastructure is.
Renewable
Yes, renewables.
infrastructure. So what does it?
So it's distribution infrastructure, because there is renewables, we focus on C&I, that's commercial and industrial, and utilities. So work with a few discos.
Okay.
And when I say infrastructure is what infrastructure is.
Yeah.
You want us to define infrastructure?
No. So I'm trying to understand where you play in the value chain. So like you.
That is disruptors on the value chain.
So that's where I'm going to. So basically, it's like
I have to flip it.
no vex.
Are you right? Because you haven't even poured the.
Greed. Sorry. What I was trying to understand.
That's a lot of whiskey as well, dude.
So no, it's not all whiskey.
Okay.
I was trying to understand the context to it, right? So I the renewable part, right? It's are we talking solar, wind?
Solar storage, mostly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Solar storage.
Yes.
All right. Then we
storage.
then distribute that.
And we then distribute it
Okay.
Into the discos.
Are you looking at buying a
when we're working with the
power
discos.
plant or
Yeah.
something? Because we're not at the power section yet. Because
No. I just needed to be.
it makes sense
This helps. I mean, even the audience better understand, because all the thing you said is I just went. I was like,
You want to recap? Take it slow.
In layman's terms.
Exactly. Like what did they do? They give us power.
All right, what a busy week it has been globally.
Yeah.
Last week, I said, when I watched last week's episode, I said I wasn't going to mention the Straits of Hormuz again because Tunji bastardized it. He turned it into something I've never heard before. Like, how can you turn a strait into a street? Like, it basically just turned it into some kind of metaphor. That's not what it is. That's not what we do here. So, whatever we talk about the Straits today, we're just going to talk about something else that happened.
But
Maybe they call it the gaze of
the streets are still a problem.
No Straits. We're just talking about something else that happened globally. Today's show is going to be dominated mostly by a lot of local stuff because a lot of stuff happening in Nigeria. But somehow during the week we did hear that UAE threatened, or I don't even think it's a threat. They announced that they were exiting OPEC. I mean, it's been on the cards for a bit for those who have been tracking this, but finally they made do their threats from years ago that they wanted to get the hell out of OPEC. It wasn't serving their purpose anymore. I read somewhere that one of the things that pissed them off was, of course, this war and how it seemed like they were the ones taking the brunt of the war. And, they just didn't think that the cartel was relevant again. So I don't know what you guys... Who wants to go first? What do you think about this? Pelumi, you want to take a stab at it?
Yeah. I mean, I think when you look at the way geopolitics has shifted in the last 8 weeks, I think it probably is one of the most rapid shifts we've seen in since maybe the Cold War. in my mind, right? The kind of alliances that are formed and what's happened. And I think, as I told someone when this news came out, I said, this is the voice of Jacob and the hand of Esau. Right? I think there is clearly the hand of the US somewhere in the mix. And
US what?
the US somewhere in the mix around this decision, right? And how the politics of the Middle East is shaping up, where everyone now feels like they're paying the price for whatever Saudi is doing in the cartel. No longer serves their own purpose. And I think if one more producer that's probably doing 2 million, 3 million leaves the cartel, I think
No, just off lights.
that might just be the end of the
Breaks
cartel.
OPEC.
I think it should be over. man.
Mojola,
I
not
think-
the
I
first
think it
time
should
we're
be over.
seeing exits. Indonesia left at some point. I think
Kazakhstan.
Qatar also
Yeah.
left some years ago. So I mean, is that should we? Some people are saying this is the end days for OPEC. Do you buy that?
I don't know if it's the end days for OPEC, and I don't know if that decision is mostly about OPEC. I think it has to do more with all of what has happened in the last, is it 2-3 months? And I think this is maybe the first of many formalizations, of new alliances that are going to form because of the US of today, and what that US of today means to the economy of today, and what it means to Europe, and what it means to the Middle East. So I think that this is just the first of many, will I say, formal decisions. I don't even know if it's the first. Maybe there are a couple of other things that have happened, but I think that there's going to be a lot more official, will I say, repositionings, not just in the Middle East, but generally speaking, because what's happened in the last 2-3 months with the US, with Iran, with the whole Strait of Hormuz thing, is everyone is reassessing their positions, and everybody's sort of trying to say, okay, look, we may have had these alliances for decades, but we need to reposition. I think that's what's happening.
Arnold, do you think that? Sorry, before you can add this to your point. If I want to make, do you think perhaps, because I was reading somewhere as well that maybe Trump is winning? Is this like a Trump design?
So, do you know, funny thing, I was actually going to go into this, right? So, Bismarck said something at the live show. He said, and I really love that thing. It stayed with me. He said, there's some wars that you win without losing and you lose without winning, right? Trump has said a while ago that he didn't like OPEC, right? They were fixing prices and prices are too high. But I think that when I saw the news today, it made me feel like, man, OPEC have really lost this thing, man. Like OPEC as an institution, if you really think about what they've gone through this period, they were pumping about 27, 28 million barrels a day. When the Straits of Hormuz got blocked, about 7.8 went offline, right? And then now, this is like, what, 3.4? That's 40% of their production offline. And these guys have lost.
No, but this is just a temporary issue now, isn't it?
Well,
And Iran that
UAE
did the
leaving-
whole blockade.
UAE leaving is not temporary. UAE have left.
But
They've taken-
UAE is leaving. I think another data is that UAE is leaving. Even the UAE leaving, I beg your pardon, OPEC still controls 25% of production.
Do they?
Yeah,
Because I know they're 30% with UAE.
Without them,
I mean, it
without
becomes-
without
No, but
UAE.
then it becomes fragmented as well,
Without
right?
UAE, 25%.
It becomes
Yeah.
fragmented. It also sort of, countries within OPEC, yes, like Nigeria gets a bigger voice now because your number 3 is left.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we should get a bigger voice. So for countries, perhaps.
Which was allegedly? Is that the fact they've left or that we become?
No, that we have a bigger
Well,
voice.
if you're number 3, guy, you're number 3.
Okay. That you can shout does not mean that you can influence anything.
Exactly.
But anyway, go on.
But the fact that UAE want to pump more, right? Because they're like, listen, we want to actually expand and want to reach our full capacity, want to hit 5 million barrels by 2027. You guys are stopping me, plus everything I've been through, right? The other countries should be thinking, hold on a minute, I also want to pump more, right? If you look at the oil curve, the oil curve is now pricing 2027 barrel at 70-something percent, $76 rather. Now imagine you're in OPEC and thinking, hold on a minute, this guy's going to pump so much to get it down to $76 or $75. What happens to me? Why am I with these guys, right? Clearly, these guys are not as strong together.
so negative, bro?
No, I'm not. So
just-
it's double, right? So I'm excited for Nigeria having a bigger voice within OPEC.
I mean, you call Nigeria is a bigger voice.
I mean,
Wow.
allegedly.
Let me
I don't
Tunji
understand
has
why-
more- maybe Tunji has a more positive spin because your spin is negative, man.
Let's Let's hear from Tunji.
I'm spinning it the way it is. I want to spin it.
Tunji, what do you think? Like, do we really have a bigger voice or a more influential voice? More like now. Because, I mean, I also heard that if Iran pulls out, Iraq pulls out, then there could be, a big problem.
Africa.
Nigeria just has like, to be, when Angola pulled out, nobody
nobody
bothered.
cares.
Right? So I heard if Venezuela pulls out, which is pretty likely, then that's when you start to worry. But Nigeria.
I went to a secondary school where as I think just before I became a senior, all the seniors used to wear long sleeve shirts, and then the juniors wore short sleeve shirts. And just the year before I became a senior, because all of us were looking forward to wearing the long sleeve, the school now decides that everybody will now wear short sleeve shirts. Just the year before I got there. And it just didn't feel right anymore. It just felt like they are taking the shine out of
privileges.
it. Yeah, the privileges. It just feels the same way with Nigeria.
So like
A larger voice in a tiny room is good, but what does it really do? Because OPEC might still have some significant control, some significant pull on geopolitics, but it's not the pull of 2010.
Yeah.
Pre-share.
It's a different room.
You get it. It's a different room. It's a different idea. It's a different
Yeah.
conversation altogether.
Yeah.
At that point, OPEC meetings were covered globally.
Yeah.
The conversations reverberated across the globe. But at this point, it's like, see, in my mind, there's no difference between Nigeria having a bigger voice in OPEC and Nigeria having a bigger voice on the African Union.
Yeah, because UAE is
It's
a
the
big
same
deal,
thing.
right?
It's
UAE
like
is a
what
big
I-
deal when it comes to
Yeah.
oil,
Yeah.
Middle East. It's a big
but
deal.
I think when you look at commodities, I think what you always have to look at is the impact of the marginal producer, right? So if you think about it, yes, OPEC has come down to 25% of global production now that UAE is out. But that swing volume actually usually has a larger impact than just that percentage that you have. So if you look at what's happened, let's look at Iran. Because Iran had this blockade, took out 7 million, right, of supply vis-a-vis global, I think 98 million barrels, right? The swing in prices was like 4x of the percentage of the volumes that are moved. So I think OPEC will continue to be that swing group. And depending on how that is managed, Nigeria can also tend to benefit. But we need to be very, very clever about how we go around this stuff.
The question is, what do quotas do for a country like Nigeria right now?
The quotas don't do anything for a country like Nigeria when you're not meeting the quota.
Yeah, exactly. We're not even hitting it. So
that's the point now.
That's why I said
So
allegedly.
do we really need OPEC, Mojola? Do we need OPEC? Should we just go the way of Angola? So like, what exactly do we need OPEC? Because we're not meeting the quota. We're not even taking advantage of.
And if we ever meet it, they might
wanna
now come
leave.
and tell us, reduce your...
that's what I'm saying. We meet them
Reduce.
would want to leave, right? Because like a UAE.
I mean, I think that for a country like Nigeria and for UAE, it's a very different position.
Yeah.
So if you're already at the point where you're maximizing output and then you're talking of what are we doing with this extra, and which is why I'm still coming back to what I said before. Like there's a lot of repositioning that is going to go on and that's going to happen. There's also how stuff has flowed from when Ukraine, Russia started. Russia used to be like massive producer, supplier. The sanctions came and everybody's buying Russia, but buying Russia,
through shadow fleets.
Yes, exactly, through shadow fleets. And that's why I said, if you are compounding what's happening now on top of the Russia-Ukraine, on top of what's happening in Asia with China, being one of the biggest importers and all that, I think there's still going to be a lot of shifting. And if a country like Nigeria gets to a point where we're able to double, triple, because of how steady the government has been, because at least we can say there's been a steady increase, I think there will be a realignment from a Nigerian perspective. And when people like UAE start to pull out, it starts to pass a message to other members to say, look, are we really getting, the
benefit
best?
of-
Yes,
yeah,
are we
being
really
in the
getting the
cartel.
benefit of being part of this, being part of this structure? And more importantly, is like a subtle message that's happened since this whole US-Iran thing started because of how, well, I say wild this whole Trump thing has been. There's literally nothing that's off the table in terms of being open for reassessment. Yeah, there are some structures that have existed for donkey years. Everything is almost, I don't want to say gone upside down, but literally nothing is off the table.
Yeah.
So I think for a country like Nigeria, will probably remain. But I honestly think in the next few weeks or months, we'll probably see a couple of other guys that would also decide that, hey, what are we getting from OPEC? Maybe we should pull out, because same thing when it even comes to gas purchases, everything. I think the next couple of months in 2026 is for realignment. And there's a lot of realignment that will happen this year, that will now form the basis for how maybe a lot of nations and, continents will operate, going forward.
I think one of the things that was significant for OPEC was the large producers, and then all the smaller producers then clung on to those large producers and then became a big force globally. So they decided, whatever happened, they could, put sanctions, they could, do things, they could decide global oil supply, which was significant, right? And then this guy pulls out, that guy pulls out. We're not as strong anymore. This guy pulls out. Then somebody from outside can even compete. One player from outside can compete with the entire
100%.
Voltron forming unit here. And then you start to ask the question,
What's the point?
so what's the point? So the thing I still feel is that a lot of the smaller players are still there because they are not meeting their quotas. The day they start meeting their quotas, the question will start to come to them again, as in, why are we here?
Why are we here?
Because you don't want to be on the wrong side of history.
big boy.
The big boy. So that's why it's like we're all here because, let's not
tag
vex.
along.
Let's tag along.
So what does the world look like without this cartel,
was-
without
I
an
was-
oil price controlling cartel?
I think the
Do you
world.
think oil price
don't
goes
think-
haywire?
I
Do you
don't think cartels, in the way it was created in the 70s, is relevant in 2026.
Why do you say
You
so?
don't think so?
I don't think so. I think there are formations, but I don't think it's the cartel forming thing. You know that thing where we all decide, 5 of us now decide that this is the way VI is going to now operate. Every car must flash their lights.
so I
that thing used to be the way of the world back in the day.
But-
Some people will just gather, they will form an association, and that's why we have many associations.
Yeah, but I think it still has to happen, right? So if you look at
Has to happen, or
If you
no?
look- so there's some markets that
forget whether it has to happen. Is it relevant in today? Does the world respond to cartels the way it
Yeah,
used
So,
to
if you look
respond?
at cocoa, for example, right? So you look at cocoa, for example. I've always said Ivory Coast and Ghana need to form some sort of cartel, some sort of alignment, because you find that the local farmers and the local countries are not benefiting from being the largest producer, right? They're not able to control price or allow price to pass through the way it benefits people locally. So I think there are industries that cartels need to be formed because outside interests or someone else that has more power can control things and not benefit people. Whether it's a
Why do you join cartel? OPEC, stronger influence on
Is-
prices, revenue, geopolitical controls, data and research. So to Tunji's point, America pumps a lot of oil now. Russia pumps a whole lot of oil. Norway still pumps. In fact, the fact that US pumps that much oil, and and of course you now have renewables that have picked up. Is that still an advantage in OPEC? Even though some might argue that, well, if it wasn't for OPEC, oil prices would probably be at about $20-25 today. Let's remember that in the early 70s, before OPEC, oil was like $2
$4.50.
or so. Yeah, it was that low until the cartel came together, and then we started seeing oil prices go up, and it's never come down since then. So yes, there could be an argument that maybe the cartel is losing relevance, But at the same time,
You need-
it's still power. It's still strong. If it
you
does,
need, yeah.
if it still controls 25%.
Yeah, like
Well, so I guess the point is, so long as they're able to keep the likes of Iran, Iraq, Venezuela
You have
within
Saudi.
the cartel, the Saudis, of course. I mean, the Saudis they're the OPEC themselves
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So if you're able to keep that in the plus, which is the Russians and
Yeah.
co, then I guess they probably will still last some years.
I think they're still here for a while. And my thesis is that a swing producer can impact prices much more than the impact of the percentage increase or change, right? And I think that's what we're still going to continue to see. If you look at all of the guys in OPEC, there are a certain type of countries, right? Politically, right? Right.
They all resemble each other.
Right? There are a certain type of countries. And then what you also find is that they are more of the exporting side.
Yeah.
The US needs to import. So yes, by itself, it produces the most volumes globally.
But it still needs more.
But it still needs more. China does, right? But so because of that export differential that they have, that is what really creates that swing power that OPEC has. Not just because of the absolute volumes, but the type of volumes that it is.
I agree. All right. Oil prices already topping $120. I don't know.
120 now.
Yeah,
So
Trump.
120.
Trump
That was
did
150.
something.
Yeah,
I mean,
No, Trump.
But Trump said that he was looking at extending, isn't it? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, he said it was going to extend indefinitely. He didn't really give
the so-called
ceasefire, right?
ceasefire or something.
But nothing is
I was
moving.
gonna ask
Nothing is
about
moving.
That,
In the,
things are not moving.
moving.
So the blockade still remains. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know.
Stalemate.
Can Iran actually outlast? Because this is almost like a race now. Let's see who outlasts who. So I don't know. Can Iran? Because Iran also is saying, okay, you know what? We got a new peace deal. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering. And I'm hearing. I read somewhere as well that there are fractions within.
Yeah,
within
Iran can't push this much
ASEAN,
longer.
whatever.
They've won what they've won.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
just
It's
take
time
his
to
rights.
move on.
It's
Take
like-
your
yeah,
wins.
just-
Yeah.
like-
But Arnold, how do you heal the Egbons in the creeks? I think this is the time to start aligning because they we should be greeting them every time, every show.
The creeks.
It almost
Yeah.
sounds like you're like you have affiliations with the Creeks.
Oh, like Niger Delta.
Yeah. How do you greet the
I
Brussels?
should be asking you now. How do I
Because honestly, at $120 per barrel, that's
Yeah.
significant.
it's wild.
Yeah, but I think this thing
it
lasts
is
a bit
crazy.
longer.
Yep.
I think it lasts a bit longer, man. I think we see.
We're here for a while.
Yeah, I think for a few more months anyway with all this back and
But
forth with
you know
Iran.
what? You know what worries me? I just think when we're going to miss the train, as we always do.
Go through Nigeria.
Yeah. I don't feel we're going to.
Oh, we're borrowing
maximize-
heavy now. We have oil now, so let's borrow heavy.
Mix here now. Like,
That's the quickest way to get money.
that's what-
Are we
This is
not
just-
selling oil? We're selling oil now.
But-
Oil is now
but-
120.
But your oil is spoken for. Your
It's
oil-
not even though
Your oil is
even
your oil
though-
is spoken for. I
Even
mean,
though.
if you look at all the different
yeah.
the different facilities that you've pledged,
Yeah,
you've pledged.
forwards and stuff.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. But even at it's well.
Sorry.
anyway, guys. So despite everything going on, earnings are still picking up. At least in the West, you're seeing the markets are basically. It's almost like I saw a meme on social media where I don't know, some guy just had this computer on and then he's like, Trump says, I'm gonna close this trade off almost buy. I'm gonna open the hotel and all that. So you're seeing people essentially
It's
now
insane,
trading
man.
based on on
insane.
vibe. So I don't know.
It's insane. It's insane.
No fundamentals
Yeah,
are
it's
essentially
insane.
out of the window
Yeah.
at the moment. So I mean, market seems to be taking this on as it goes. How long will this last though?
With the volatility in the market.
I think it's
The way markets are sort of like aligned, like
But
markets
it's-
shrug these things up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
So
but-
I'm wondering,
but
like,
it has helped the market of recent in the last couple of weeks. It's helped the market.
why is no one worried that
Yeah.
higher
Yep.
oil prices
So-
mean
Yep.
higher costs?
Yeah.
because
for
we
businesses
because we
and
we
profit
now see.
declines.
So what used to happen, and people need to understand, there is a large media absence in this war. If
Large
this
media
war
absence?
happened, yes, What I mean by this is, if this war had happened in 2007, we would have all been glued to BBC, CNN.
Or people who can control the narrative
Exactly.
and all that. Yeah.
Those two would have controlled the narrative and they would have sold us fear. This is happening. They are killing people. Oh my God. A bomb just landed in the... Oh, you know, the way they do all those, dramatic
There's
things.
a lot more information
this
out there.
special.
You know the special. Oh my God! Breaking news. We now have to. We've come from the streets. I'm right here, and there's all those. That fear feeds into the world, and all that sips into the market. It creates volatility. But the truth is, now we get information by the minute.
Yeah.
So the ability for a siege mentality of fear is very little.
Yeah, but also to say that you're seeing it in bonds, though, right? So you're seeing like a proper is the word divergence in prices between bonds and equities, which I find really interesting. So S&P, you're seeing all-time highs, right? One could argue that you're seeing all-time highs because American companies are still doing well, like earnings are just through the roof. But you're seeing that cost of capital inflation trade in UK bonds. UK bonds are tanking, yields are rising. You're also seeing it in US bonds as well, right? So if you are short bonds through this period, you actually, because we are going to see a rise of cost of capital. Inflation is going to come because of oil. But equities are doing well because companies are still doing well despite everything. And then if you look at the FTSE as well, FTSE has even outperformed the S&P, right? But the FTSE is made up of energy and commodity exporters, right? But regardless, I always say equity markets follow bond markets. Bond markets always show us where to go.
Ahead.
So when we start to see, so my view on that is when we start to see this thing really print, then you're going to start to see affect companies, right? It's for me, it's like, okay, yeah, equities are doing well, but you should be cautious because bonds are showing you where the markets are going to go.
I'm totally with you. And I think everybody that has an hour, 15 minutes of their time should go watch the Paul Tudor Jones interview that he had like 3 days ago. Right, and how this is so similar to the 2000, .com bubble, and he sort of put it in context where he talked about how over-equitized the US is right now, and what has happened.
Over-equitized. What did he mean by that?
So there's so much wealth tied to equity right now. So if you look at the US,
Fortune 500.
So 10% of US tax receipts last year was from capital gains. Right?
That's interesting for us to watch, right?
Man.
Yeah, we need to watch that.
Yeah, you need to watch this.
Our Minister of Finance should watch that. That's interesting. That means if you sorry to cut you. That if 10% of a country's tax comes from CGT, right?
Yeah, but that's
hey, don't give them ideas. What's this now?
Let me stop.
No,
but it's a reason. It's a reason.
Don't worry, hold on your thoughts.
I'm going to finish the point, which is so that I will cover whatever.
Because I want to tackle and Rotus, by the way. But go on.
No, so the thing is, and what Paul Tudor Jones was saying is, as a share of compared to GDP. Right now, stock market is 252%, right? The Great Depression was 65%. The dot-com bubble,
I still remember it was like 110%.
Yeah, the dot-com bubble, it was 150.
Yeah,
right?
That's 22% of US GDP.
Right? Wow. Now, what has happened is
3 times.
The way the companies have, or the way the market has been able to manage that was because there's been a lot of buybacks, which has pulled out, the supply side of stuff in the market. With the number of IPOs coming over the next 18 months, right? Tesla is, SpaceX is coming. Anthropic is going to come at some point.
OpenAI as well.
OpenAI is going to come. Now, by the time you have those unlocks and that supply side, what does that mean for the market, right? So typically, buybacks have clawed about 2% of market activity, but these new IPOs will bring about 6%, which will more than offset what has been rolled back. So you have an extra supply of 4%, which could create unintended consequences. But from where you're looking at today, where the market is, I think, priced at 25 times earnings, right? Over the next 10 years, historically, 5-year rolling period, the market has always had a negative return. at any time in US history over the next
Wait, at
I
any
don't
time
understand
in
over
the
the
US
next 5
history,
years.
where
As in, if you
stocks
pick a
are
random
priced at
5-year
25 times
where
earnings.
the market was priced at 25 times
Yeah.
earnings. Yeah. The
I mean, I
next
think
10
it's
years.
kind of logical,
Nah,
though.
but
And-
that statistic, that depends on where you pick. So start again. So if I pick a point in time now,
Yeah.
and what if I go back 5 years from today?
No, 5 years
I'll
going
see-
forward.
So going forward.
Going forward,
Yeah.
But you're basing that on what
on current year earnings.
Current-
on
so
current
current-
year's
so-
earnings multiple.
So you're trying to tell me that historically, if I look at the last time there was a 25x,
Yeah. And you looked 10 years forward, the average return
Interesting. I'm gonna do
compounded
that
was
work.
negative.
I'm going to do that work.
You want
Yeah.
to use cloud for it.
Oh, I can just type.
Yeah, exactly. You just get it out.
But I mean, because
Yeah.
but
That's
I mean,
interesting.
intuitively it makes sense because
It's the top end, right?
yeah, people are at some point profit taking is going to happen, and when that starts to happen, I mean,
It's just a domino
yeah,
effect.
yeah.
Because people are calling in on their
Yeah.
on their margin facilities. There's all of stuff. Oh, I need, and then the wealth effect, right? When you have the wealth, where you're feeling, oh, I thought I was rich, so you were taking on some kind of bet, right? And if you're thinking about it even more from a portfolio management standpoint, as Arnold will know, is all of these guys that have gained, the hyperscalers, which is Google, AWS, and co. Where are people going to find money to put in the new stocks coming
Yeah.
into the market? They have to take it from somewhere. And once someone starts to roll,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, we just need to be cautious anyway.
Yeah.
So
That's all it is.
I just wanted to be sure that we weren't giving people like Arnold ideas because I don't know. I think there's a
I
rise
don't
of
like,
socialist.
I don't like that. I don't
There are
like.
there's
I don't like.
there are a lot of people
did you,
these days.
Did you see
who-
the way he was excited about the
Yeah.
CGT conversation? Like, we should.
I mean,
not-
there was you've forgotten the last.
First
the
of
last
all,
one where he talked about
see, let me
taxes.
say this, in case Mr. Taiwo is listening.
Please don't
The
listen
American
to Arnold,
economy,
Mr. Taiwo.
its primary service is tied to equities, securities, basically. That the America as a whole could do many things. It does a bit of production, it does a bit of export, but its main service is securities. It's the fact that you come into the US, you do whatever business you do. Instead of exiting the money, you then buy bonds or you buy, you buy equities. That's what we all do, right? But that is the US's primary business. It's not Nigeria's own.
So
No, let me just help you. Let me help you to introduce.
It's not
May I?
Nigeria.
Okay.
May I?
Okay,
So the reason I got excited, yes, but it's also to show the potential of what the stock market
No,
can do.
leave
Exactly.
potential.
So if we all
Exactly.
come together and actually,
Minister Taiwo,
with the help of
leave
even on the
potential,
fiscal
we're not
guys,
there.
to actually build the stock market,
Yeah, but
you can
don't
actually use it
don't
as an
suggest-
We
engine
have
to-
not reached
We're
there.
saying no,
We are
no,
far.
The Drinks and
We-
Mike's team concluded
we are far.
years
Without
last
me.
year
Without me.
that
We are far.
we were not in
Bar
favor
one.
of
It's one,
CGT.
one.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what we all agreed?
We are
No,
far.
we're on that. No. See,
We are
Dre,
far.
I don't know the seems to
Dre,
be-
Dre, we're on that. But let me just make this point,
Yeah.
which is very important. If you look at Nigeria's market cap, equity exposure as a percentage of GDP, somewhere around 35%, even despite this
It's
whole
hitting,
run. 35,
getting to 40 now.
40%,
No more, yeah.
right? So I'm saying that compared to the US, which is 6.5 times, like we're nowhere close, right? And typically what you want your economy to be, you don't want it to be too financialized. You will say somewhere between, I would say, 70 to maybe 90%. South Africa is somewhere around 120%, right? Even Kenya is at 70% or so, 70, 75%.
Yeah.
So we're still quite a
But
ways
I
back.
like the function of
Yeah.
because you mentioned South Africa. I like the function of the capital markets to the economy.
Economy, yeah.
So actually,
There has
if
to
it's
be.
No, it's a
120,
larger,
I was gonna
it's a
say,
larger
what can you
capital
actually-
market.
Yeah,
though.
it's different
like-
as well
It's
because
a deeper capital market.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
do that with
Yeah.
Nigeria.
You
Now,
only
how
have-
much is
why-
in our entire?
you only have
Why can't
160
you?
stocks.
Tunji,
So,
pay
but
tax.
you know
Just
what?
have
How much is in our
160
entire
stocks.
NGX?
But you know why?
Because you don't pay
The
tax.
most valuable
You sound like you don't pay your
companies
taxes.
have not found a reason
I could
to
do.
come and list.
But
Someone was
let
telling
me
me.
now I'm thinking, right? Isn't there something you just picked out right now? Because if we only have 160 companies listed on the exchange, and we're already 40% or more in terms of
Market cap.
market cap to GDP.
Yeah, then we are
Is our
something.
stock market overvalued?
I won't say that. I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that.
Samson
that was
won't
where
like
we're
this.
No. I mean, and I say this
It
no,
just shocked me.
It says a lot. It says a lot. You said something
doesn't
very
say
heavy.
No, that doesn't say no.
But what you said from a macro
It
perspective,
doesn't say
I
we're
anything.
overvalued.
I have
What?
Because 6 companies
Tell me.
are carrying a GDP.
I would not
right.
Exactly.
Wait.
No.
The issue is it.
But
The
obviously,
issue is it.
hold on.
The
It's
stock
valued by
exchange.
its pair.
The stock exchange is not the issue.
Why are you
the
so
issue
defensive
is
all of a
the
sudden?
no.
Are
Wait.
you listening soon?
No, yes, I'm listening. First of all, but that's not the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is Nigeria's GDP. Nigeria's economy
Okay.
is underperforming greatly. As in, it's
Compared to what?
compared to its global peers, compared to its African peers.
No, that's not. So are you saying our GDP number? You know,
Are you saying the GDP numbers
This
are
is
understated?
Tunji's
I'm not
NBS.
saying it's
You know,
understated.
Tunji
No,
used
I'm
to
not
be
saying
with
understated.
NBS.
I know,
I'm saying,
I
I'm
know.
They have
saying,
this thing about
So-
numbers
so-
and
so
data
you know the
and-
thing is this. The thing is this. We also know. So we talk about it. So we've talked
You
about.
think our GDP
We've
is
talked
smaller
about
than it
certain banks here, right? We talked about certain banks
Wait, you
here
think
on
our
this.
GDP
On
is
this.
smaller
No.
than it should be?
Wait.
Is that what you're
Let
saying?
me. So there's a bank
Let's go straight
Arnold.
to the
There's a
point.
bank Arnold likes
Why you
to
bring Arnold
wait.
this time?
Sorry, no, it's not
Strays.
Arnold. There's
Strays.
a
Catches
bank.
strays.
There's a bank Sam likes to.
Yes, his
attack
favorite.
that he says
Who attacks?
the bank is
Doesn't lend.
underperforming its
Is it one that doesn't lend?
size and structure.
They acquired. They've acquired.
It's
Because that one has
not.
started with
It's
eight.
not sweating. It's not sweating its resources enough
Yeah.
to pull its weight. That is the full picture of Nigeria. Nigeria's GDP really should be
That's
a
valid.
lot
So we're not
larger.
sweating enough.
No, that's valid.
Relating Nigeria to
no,
to that bank.
So first of all, to be honest with you, if, for instance, what they did with the rebasing of Nigeria's GDP was fantastic. But to be honest with you, whoever was sitting on the Statistician General seat in terms of doing that did not properly capture Nigeria's economy.
So you think that our GDP today is understated?
I think it's understated. I deal with the informal economy. I think it's
Yeah, but yeah, I
understated.
mean, that's if
As
you
in-
add the informal guys.
so-
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's
Okay.
So guys, I did this, right? I did International Women's Week. The National Pension Commission wanted to go around the country to be able to onboard women onto the personal pension plan, and they were doing matching contributions. Fantastic plan, right? So we did 13 cities in, was it 1 week or something
Nice.
ridiculous?
Nice.
And we were traveling around. I was going around. Now, hear this. I see the dashboard, right? And I'm seeing, and I'm not saying, I'm not talking about the sophisticated Jeep driving women.
Yeah.
I'm saying the rural women,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing the numbers because we don't only on board, we also
So see the-
process their
the
payments.
payments, yeah.
So I'm seeing both side by side because my dashboard, I need to know what I'm earning.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing both side by side. I'm thinking to myself, dude, like, and we didn't go to, there wasn't any like, we're trying to give you government contract. It was just, hey, we're doing this. And the woman said, we can save like this. It go save. Yes, bam. And see the money that was coming in. And I was thinking to myself, what in God's name is going on?
Yeah.
And somehow a large
has that
portion
got
of
to
this,
do with
no,
the
what
size
I'm
of an
saying
economy?
is,
Are you comparing the on-back, like amount of money out of circulation? to the
He's
size
looking
of
at
the
the
economy?
unofficial,
I am
the
saying,
the informal
I am
economy.
saying
The informal economy.
if we could capture the informal economy,
Yeah.
Nigeria's GDP at least goes up 50%.
I don't agree. I don't agree with your 50%
What kind of math is
thesis.
that?
Right? I think that's a bit
How much
too
of the
high.
I mean, I
Economy
can
is
agree that
informal.
some parts of the economy might be understated.
I think if you said 20%,
but wasn't that what the essence of the rebasing did?
50%.
no, I
Suji,
think
there's volume and there's value.
Exactly.
Right? I think it goes up by
I'm speaking
volume, but not
I'm even speaking
value.
less value. I'm
Mike.
speaking less volume. I'm speaking less volume than value. I'm actually speaking value, right? Because what we've done is ensure that the informal sector has a reason to remain informal. We've aggressively pushed the informal sector into a place where the informal sector is now dedicated to being informal. And we've all done it collectively.
How so?
A business mistakenly comes out and says, we have now acquired Arnold as a new customer. Immediately, tomorrow morning, 3 government agencies show up at your office door. And then the next 2 weeks, you're battling all kinds of government institutions because you just said, our first contractor, we don't blow. So what now happens is everybody is doing well and they're like, my guy.
I'm not sure this factors into how GDP is.
No, it is. So GDP is productivity, less exports. Yeah.
C plus I plus G plus X minus M.
Yeah. In fact, that's the point. So if you look at now, if you look at it on that, in fact, if you look at it from that basis, C plus I plus G
plus X minus M.
I don't know how you get that.
So the first thing is, I'm now. So I say it a lot of times. So the eye opener is once you start dealing with the informal sector, your mindset changes about Nigeria.
See, my point is, I hear you.
And that's valid.
I hear you, Tunji. Do I think that there are a lot of sectors today that are understated? I think so. For example, real estate, construction, I think they're understated.
I don't even
places, power. If you look at it well, you see that you'll be shocked by the numbers, the size.
It's significant.
Yeah, you'll be shocked. But whether it's
to the degree that
I don't know. Don't give these guys ideas because
I don't think so.
So the thing is that
you give them ideas. The last time we got to 15% inflation,
you did not. You
mentioned you were the one who mentioned
it. You guys
on DIN in February.
We were here.
And we were there.
You called it.
The problem is that
you called it and it happened. Now you're here again.
Call it.
I really don't know.
See it. It is statistics. If I see where it starts, I know where it's going to end. You get? If you did this, I can't see where you're going to.
Yeah, so now you're dreaming it up.
It did not shock anybody in the statistics office that we go to.
Anyway, guys, let's move on.
Only you guys.
Let's move on, guys. Let's move on.
Yeah, I agree that we have a huge informal economy that we don't capture, but I don't know whether it goes up to 50%.
I don't know.
I think it's somewhere around
let's move
10.
on.
There's a lot, right? But in terms of the value, I think we like to overstate.
Let's move
in our minds.
on. Local. I said I wanted to do a lot about local today.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to discuss results in detail in the next couple of weeks. We won't see most of them, but there are a number of results that came out during the week that I wanted to talk about. But more importantly, the bank numbers were out. Most of the fugas were out, at least as sat when we taped this recording. And we did notice something. The total amount of taxes, windfall taxes that these banks had to pay was about 500 billion per our research. Some of this, of course, most of it were from the windfall taxes that they announced years ago. Last year, 2 years ago.
It was 3 years from 23 to 2025. Yeah.
So it's almost like someone characterized it as the devaluation tax. So the fact that devaluation created a lot of revenue for banks, and then the government just goes out and finds a way to take that money back. So this is government essentially, taking money out of the system.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes me to this whole GDP thing: C plus I plus G. Plus I, G plus C plus I. And I'm asking myself,
1 minus X.
This is
I minus X.
government. So banks have made a lot of profits, right? And government has taken 100 billion estimated out. Yeah. AMCON also has its own that takes away from banks. And if banks are making this much profit, who are they making it from?
Bam.
If banks said what?
They're making this much money. Who are they making it from?
Government's part of it.
So the game.
What's the economics here? What's
the
going
game
on here?
it's a circular economy.
So it's like somebody's thinking, so I rob you and I rob me back. Like,
so
is that what's going on here?
But now that dynamic is about to shift because if you look at
gives retained earnings a different meaning.
if you look at GT's numbers for Q1, you look at their tax provision. That number went up to 28%. With the new Tax Act 2025, Treasury bills are now no longer tax exempt. As Arnold likes to say, what's that thing you say? They're a hedge fund wrapped in the
Oh, that's Sam's.
That's
wrapped
Sam.
in
It's Arnold.
It's yeah. But you know what they've
We don't
done.
agree with what he said.
What they've
That's
done
what
is
he says.
they've kept a pretty large sized
Yeah.
government securities book,
Yeah.
and now with
No, they have to lend.
now that not being tax exempt,
Yeah.
a call has to be made, because if you look at the numbers year on year in terms of real operating profit, it was pretty much flat.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, but-
let's see what happens in Q2 with that tax shield going as it is right now. Because what we're going to see is, obviously, yes, there was the windfall tax that everybody had to pay. And again, the banks did not go out by themselves to distort the economy in terms of
It's advantage.
it's not the bank that determines what the FX rate is. If I have a book, right, and typically you want to match your FX obligations to your FX assets. If I have now made these revaluation gains, okay, that have now become realized, why should I be punished for it for taking a position?
Yeah, but that's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I agree. So it's not even the point. It's like I'm looking at this whole contraption.
So basically,
right?
you're saying
It's an
that
economic
these
contraption.
banks take deposits,
Yeah,
they buy bonds,
so I've
right?
always been
They
trying
lend to the governments, and then the
and then
government
they take it back in taxes,
Yeah.
and
It's
then
just-
and then
it's
and
just
then and then
overall-
when
it's
and then when you look at
easy
this
money for everybody.
when you look
It's easy money for
but when
everybody.
you then look at this GDP thing, and then you then start to realize why the macro looks very good, but down the micro things
Yeah.
are pretty bad, because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have government is taking money from taxes,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and levies and all that,
And they're borrowing from.
investors
Yeah.
are also making money from high interest rates and all that. But the consumers,
No, the
everybody's
consumers.
taking from the consumers. So the C
if you look at
seems
it-
to be suffering.
so if you
I'm
look
going
at
back-
this-
I'm going back to the.
So
I'm
consumers
going
are paying with inflation.
I'm going back to the informal sector.
Everything.
I'm going back to the informal
No,
sector.
that's not that your
Wait,
definition.
no,
It's
no,
called
Not
Joe-
your definition.
no.
Piketty, Thomas Piketty, that
Yeah.
talks about this rich poor divide,
Yeah.
and sort of talks about you sort of mention it in a sense, right, where it's like the investors stay wealthy because it's investments, right? So you're able to lend on the bond side and the fixed income side, especially in Nigeria, you're able to lend to government at such high yields,
Exactly.
right? And then they just take in they have
Yeah.
liquidity
Yeah.
anytime they need it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then,
Where does that liquidity come from?
but then for everyone else, because there's no credits.
No.
Right.
Where does
You're
that
not-
liquidity come from? Where does that liquidity? So here,
From the
right?
devaluation, so you don't understand what the picture I just painted now. Listen, let me explain again.
Let me have some whiskey so I can
Right?
understand better.
Yeah. Take. So
It looks like it was a hard week for
yeah.
everybody.
So you
Let me
have
have some of that.
you have. That's all, Dre. Thank you, Lee Drop, for the whiskey. Thank you. Thank you, Manilas, as well, for the support, and of course, Suano water. But let's go on.
Yeah, please.
So you have something that happened in 2023.
Yes.
There was a massive devaluation.
Yes.
Right. And then subsidy was what?
Taken
out. Good. So who felt the brunt of that in that
The-
G plus
the
I
C.
plus C?
The C.
Yeah.
C,
Yeah.
right? So you've essentially taken something away from the C, which is their purchasing power, right? Because the wages didn't go up at the same rate that
At which the
Yeah.
inflation
the
went
impact-
up. No
Yeah.
problem. So what it then means is that government revenue does what? Increases by the amount of subsidy that you stop paying.
Yeah.
So states have a lot more money.
Yeah.
Right. So G is fine.
Supposedly.
Then investors like Tunji and Arnold, because I remember when we started drinking
I'm
some
not
mics,
inside though.
Tunji and Arnold didn't used to wear these sort of fine jackets. So investors like them
don't
invest in
understand.
the market
Yeah.
and then they get a lot of returns, right? Through yields,
Yeah.
equities,
Capital gains.
Capital
capital
appreciation.
gains,
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
because interest rate is up.
Yeah.
So the capital gains, of course, and yields and all that is still coming from the C that has given up a lot of their purchasing power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, within that same investment, companies are also there who sell, right? So the
Yeah.
companies that sell, they've also seen their profits kind of go up after that initial devaluation.
Yeah.
Because what has happened? They've also increased
Prices.
And if you see that their profits are going up. So
Yeah.
the only way they can give back some of their profit is dividend. And dividend is going to who? investors.
Yeah.
So my point is that
Yeah.
the C needs a new deal.
So that is
That is not happening. So
I agree with
consumers
you.
in this economy, if you're a consumer in this economy,
Yeah.
you will continue to suffer.
So hear me out.
Because there's
100%.
no way. Because the only way
Yeah.
a consumer gets you're gonna talk. The only way a consumer gets something back, and that's how the economics is done, is either through higher wages, which you're not seeing, or
Capital.
government support. No. It's
Okay,
it's
yeah, government support,
now,
yeah,
infrastructure
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Infrastructure and all that. Life is easy. You get handout. That's just how it works.
So how?
But at the moment,
so
it's
the
not
question now
happening.
the question now becomes, why aren't employers increasing wages? Is it because they don't have any?
Leave
Is it because they don't think the future's bright?
No,
or is it because they can't get
no.
liquidity?
Employers-
Because you're saying that on the
employers
top
will pay-
line, volume times price, they're getting more. Whether there's an increase in volume or an increase in price, they're getting more. So revenue is
Employers
increasing,
will pay what
right?
employers can pay.
So
I don't think that's even.
And I
don't
think
think that
Mojola should
Yeah, but
comment
higher
there.
wages, right?
Let's
Higher
say-
wages.
let's say-
Mojola
sorry.
comment.
So I think no, you said something about after that whole story, landing back with landing
consumers.
back, with the consumers
Yeah.
and price going up. Yeah. But there's also the tendency for the price to go up, but for that price not to match the volume. Yeah. Which means that for a lot of employers, and I'm also speaking personally,
Yeah.
for a lot of employers, there's in quote more money in the bank, but there's less purchasing power.
Yeah.
Because your volumes have actually dropped.
So it's the price,
Yeah.
it's the increase in price
So-
that's caused the revenue to increase. Is what
Yes,
you're
it's
saying.
the increase in price, not the increase
Yeah.
in volume. Because who are you selling to?
Yeah.
These same C guys that we've spoken about who are, to a large extent, disenfranchised. And there's I always say that there's only so much you can pass on
on to the
cost to the consumer.
Yeah.
And this, maybe we'll get to this part later. The danger in this whole cycle, is, and I was saying to Otumba when he wrote about, let me not call the name of one of these guys who you called fund or whatever. I said, look, it's good for guys who have invested in this type of bank, but it's very dangerous for the economy.
Yes.
Because you have some set of people who are making cash, who are your investors, But from an economic standpoint,
not good at all.
not much is really happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, is a bubble that you're just rolling on and pushing forward. And when you have a situation where you are returning 22%, 23% money market, you have a guy who is struggling, to be able to do maybe 18%. You're not attractive.
100%.
Yeah.
You're not attractive, even from an infrastructure perspective, from power
Totally.
perspective. You have there's
No,
this
no, no,
cash,
wait,
and
wait.
you're
Let-
just
let-
there's this pressing. So I feel like it's a feel good, but it's a short-term feel good. And eventually, maybe it's under this administration or whether it's the next administration, that bubble is
It's going to burst.
going to
So
burst.
this is what. No, wait. Let me say this. And this is the painful thing. And it hurts me. It hurts me. What we've
don't
built,
like
what
me.
the rich people have built, is infrastructure.
What the rich people have built.
Yeah, infrastructure. Let me say.
Yeah.
So
understand
I
that.
am a guy that has a shop in Aspamda. I sell whatever I sell. But every time I sell goods to you, you pay me, I get money into my bank accounts. The bank doesn't know what I did to get the goods in Aspanda. The bank gets a cut of every transaction I do. Right? Every single transaction I do. This bank also does it for everybody in Aspanda, in Alaba, in Ojalba, in Akpogbon. All the Idumota. Do you get? Now, at the end of the year, they gather all these fees and they go and put it in the money market. They go and put it in bonds. Me in Aspanda, I'm now looking for loan.
Can't get it.
I can't get it from the same bank that has collected fees from me and now is waiting for FG to pay 20-something%. I am saying that who gave them all that liquidity that they are now putting into...
So Tunji, what needs to happen?
Treasury bills.
What needs to happen
What's your
first,
point?
right? to a degree, I know I like to bash Chitico and say they have a 25% loan to deposit, but what needs to happen first? Do you bash the bank that is just positioning itself in a macro environment that allows it to do this and protect itself?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not
saying
saying
that.
You have to know the roots.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. To be honest with you, GT and whoever will do whatever they need to do.
Their businesses, right?
What I'm saying is we have grossly dismissed the ox that is creating the wealth in Nigeria because they are not fancy enough to speak at the table. Because if you look at the bottom of where the wealth is coming from,
you're missing the entire point of this. You're talking about something else entirely.
I'm not.
What I'm talking about here is understand. I'm not talking about the informal market.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about GDP now.
So yeah,
I'm talking about the micro economy.
Yes.
And the dysfunction between the macros looking very good and people suffering.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out why is it that
I think
those of us that study the economy every day, you see that the macro numbers are
But if we're honest,
I'm trying to explain that.
What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that
from the way it was before.
The macro numbers have improved.
Yeah, and they've improved.
But
In fact, that's better.
Because the reason I'll say if the macros were good, then we wouldn't be having this
trickle
conversation.
down.
No, what I'm saying is simple. What I'm saying is simple. If the person that Akpogbo knew that he really understood how important he is to the bank, he will take his decisions better. If the person as spammer,
he'll be able to hire, be able to increase wages.
I'm saying that if you look at the economy, how many people are doing transactions? Look at the transaction volume across the entire economy.
What is it going to do what I'm talking about?
No,
that's my point.
I'm saying that if the lower part of the economy trades with people who take care of the people at the lower parts of the economy, Nigeria will be a better place. But it's just the fact that the people at the bottom of the economy do not fully understand that if I am trading with Arnold's bank, it might not be best for people like me.
Yeah, but I think that's a bigger macro issue.
Yeah, what I'm talking about.
For me, I think it's still coming back because you said something, Pelumi, coming back to root cause. Yeah. And you can't blame any player in the market for taking advantage of how the market is structured.
Which is taking advantage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So my whole thesis here is that in this economy, if you're a consumer, which means you're just a salary earner.
You're just fodder.
You're just income earner and you have bills to pay. You're going to suffer.
Yeah, you're challenged.
Yeah,
this economy today it only favors either a government or investors. That's it.
Yeah.
Because the way it's designed, that's why foreign investors are happy. The interest rates are high.
Yeah.
Investors are happy. You have free money.
We should start deciding where we should go to bank.
Exactly.
It's
not where you should go to bank. It's where you should be in that whole. And that's why. Let me tell you where this is heading to.
Yeah.
And that is why, because people are now seeing that, you know what, the people making money or better off in this economy now are the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is why.
Everybody wants to be an
I want to buy stock market.
Yeah, 100%.
I hear the stock market is doing well.
And I love it.
I heard the stock market is doing well.
I hate it.
No, I
because
love
I hate it because it is bad for the economy. We need producers.
Exactly.
We need producers. We need producers to
contribute. So not just producers. You need wages to go up. You need people to earn better.
Okay, this is it has multiple.
So we can't all be investors. If we are all investors, who will now make the money that we're going to invest?
Like, so I think there's a lot of wasted human capital, right?
Because the economy has been screwed.
The thing is, again, I keep saying, like, there's a root cause. And I think in this root cause, some people or somebody needs to take responsibility. And government.
Yes.
Yeah? Because you have to structure.
They made the economy.
If you've structured it in such a way that what pays is for people not to be, in quotes, productive. Yeah. But when I say paper productive is I'm doing money market, put it, get 20-something%. So why do you want to operate a factory? Yeah? Why do you want
After
to?
you go
Which
through all
will
this
create
stress.
jobs.
Yeah, which will
which
create jobs and all those
that
things.
should create income.
So that is why it keeps looking like the numbers are good, but in reality, I'm not seeing anything because
I don't know. I
You
okay.
need cloud. They help you.
It's a very market. It's a market perspective.
I see it, but
Perspective.
But I don't think investors are the problem.
No,
No, we
Right.
know.
Nobody's saying investors are the problem. No, it's not.
No.
Investors are not the problem. We're not blaming you. Don't worry. You're not
I think fundamentally, right,
Yeah.
is, and I said this the last time.
Oh, guys, we gotta close this topic and move on.
See, the
1 hour,
the reason why we're in this
Wait, by the way,
situation
yeah.
is the fiscal side has not come to the party in the last 3 years.
That's the point.
Like, we can dance around it. The fiscal side
You know what?
has not come to the
Apart
party.
from
All
that,
the government needs to do is lend lower.
No.
Is that what you're trying to say?
The government. Let me tell you what the government needs to do.
The factory
The government. Wait now. Wait
with the government.
No, the government is not the one lending, right? All the government.
they're setting rates.
The government are not the one lending.
Yeah, but government is setting rates.
They're setting rates.
CBN is saying it's not the government setting rates. It's the
DMO.
If you
It's the government.
speak to government officials themselves, they will tell you they don't want to borrow at this sort of rates. But you have an independent CBN now. He's saying, well, go fix your fiscal issues because
That's
for
what
long,
is
so long
causing
as
it.
your inflation is at this level,
Yep.
I will set my rates
Yeah,
higher.
of course.
So you go fix it. I'm not one like before where it's
It was
the CBN.
the-
You go fix your best,
Yeah.
right? So the point is, and that's where that's where I get worried. And I'm happy we have a new finance minister and maybe they might have a change of mind because the point is, look, you're not going to be the one.
Is election
Wait
season.
now, yes, hold on, let me land now. Wait, let me land. Oh my God, let me land. Wait.
If you have an oversupply of debt,
I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is, if you know that it's a fiscal problem,
Yes.
and it's not a problem of interest rates or oversupply of debt,
yeah,
the only person that can move your economy forward are who? The private sector.
Yeah.
They are the ones who know how to create jobs, which is your point. Factory jobs, production. They are the ones who can do it. So you have to give them the incentives to do it. And the incentives is not to come and overtax them. The incentive is not to allow your factory owner, you're the one doing your own power, you're the one doing your own water, you're the one doing your own roads and all.
Yeah.
No. So how are these guys going to create jobs that can move the economy forward? So the thinking should be about, you know what? Them government, you have no business here. How do you get the private sector
Involved.
to create jobs in certain areas, and how do we measure it? Nobody's talking about that. Have you ever seen them say, oh, in this particular sector, our target, maybe agri sector or telco, our target is to create 1 million jobs or 200,000 jobs, and we're measuring, this month.
There's three
You haven't even seen a jobs report in the last 3 years.
There's 3 MTs.
Paper 3 MTs. How many have been?
Please.
You don't even have jobs reports.
First of all, what does 3MT
What's
do?
3
Sorry.
million tech talents.
I beg, let's don't annoy us
Hey,
now.
you guys, these things, they take time.
You don't even have a jobs report.
I love the way you said that.
Yes.
Let me just
How can you be a country? You don't have unemployment data.
Yeah.
No, but-
In the last 2 years plus.
That's a problem.
By the way, if there's
that's a
if there's a
problem.
new bank that is trying to come up, I think this is a niche you need to play in.
What
There's
niche
a
is that?
siege mentality you can build a business around.
have MFPs
and not
that
just
try
not
now.
just
Yeah,
no
Tunji.
MFC. It's the economy, and there are a lot of things around it, but you cannot be seriously helping entrepreneurs at 5% a month. You would kill this person.
those are non-bank financial
Like that, no,
institutions.
even the MFPs are doing 5%.
What's wrong with doing 5% a month? I don't understand.
5% a month.
Is it
What
MFPs?
to survive at
Go
that?
open your own and lend at
No,
1%
so
now.
again, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, and it is very clear, right? These businesses did not just appear out of the blue.
What business is now?
A lot.
The informal businesses.
No, I'm talking about banks, right? They didn't just appear out of the blue.
When you say banks, MFBs now, or
No, commercial
Commercial
banks,
banks.
all of them. They didn't just appear out of the blue. All the money they have or the money they've stacked is not theirs. They are paid up capital.
they are paying for it, and there's cost of funds.
Shareholders will disagree with you.
Wait now. A lot of the money that is in circulation within their system is investors' deposits, right?
Customer deposits.
Customers' deposits. Sorry, customers' deposits. Yeah, thank you. Now, remove customer deposits from the entire equation, and the bank is not what exactly it is.
Yep.
And I'm saying that if customer deposits is what makes you, and then those customers cannot benefit from you what they give into you that makes you fat, that makes you then go to meet government and then put the money that I gave you into government and then collect 23%. And then me, I'm now coming to beg you for money, and then you are now charging me as much as you give to the government. Then there should be a rethink from the person that is giving you the money.
I don't know why I'm flanked by socialists. My God.
No, so
No, this is not the guys. This is
So I hear
this is
what
not
Tunji
social.
is
going on
No,
here?
I hear what
This
Tunji
is
is
not
saying.
social.
What is he saying?
I need you to
agree.
hear me this. I need you to hear me this.
Dre,
Right?
I get
This
it.
is
I
a
get
line
it.
of thought
Yeah,
that I
no, I
cannot
get it.
perfectly explain till about 2027.
No,
Honestly,
you've explained it.
I want to
cannot perfectly
dismantle
explain
everything
it,
you said now.
But
Let him finish.
honestly, here's the truth. What has been built in the Nigerian financial ecosystem is not built for the people who save into it.
correct?
It's not built to serve the people who save into it.
No.
So let me respond to
That
you.
is my.
Facts.
That
Let
is
me
my.
res-
No, that's based on
Let
data.
me
As
respond
if
to you.
go through
Tunji.
it.
Let me
Yeah,
respond to you.
yeah,
Let me
correct.
respond to you.
I have
It's
said
very
my mind.
simple. It's very simple.
That is much I can say for now.
We're in a market-driven economy. We're not in a socialist economy. In a market-driven economy, right? And so banks operate in that economy. You have a system where for every 100 naira in deposit that the bank receives, it can probably only lend 30. We hope we know that.
Yeah.
Because
Right?
of your
Yeah, you have
your
CR
ratio.
and all
Yeah,
those sort
CR,
of
yeah.
things, LD.
Yeah,
you have
so
all that stuff.
45 there.
Yeah, so you can't even lend all of it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, which means, and then these same banks have what you call cost of funds. So it's not the
Yeah.
person that gives the bank 200 naira that is important.
Yeah.
If you give a bank 1 billion naira, put 1 billion naira in a bank, you're asking for some kind of return. You're not going to ask for a return that is less than 13%, 14% even. Right? Now, the same bank operates under the same structures everybody faces in the economy.
Yeah.
So we all see them cost to income ratio 50%, 4%, and all that. I mean, are there banks that are feeding on pork, as in spending money stupidly?
Yeah.
There are. You see that in their numbers. But my point is, the fact that a bank lends money at a very high interest rate is not a problem of the bank. It's the design, the way the market is designed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banks traditionally,
also
but-
to
but-
just
no bank-
so no bank will lend money.
confused. I'm
Are you
confused.
going to lend money as single
I'm confused why it
digit?
looks
Yeah,
like
so that's why I also want to say
because
something.
we said the same thing.
No, but Tunji,
I'm saying
No,
it's
that's not what you said.
I'm saying
No.
it's
So
design.
what Tunji is saying
Tunji is saying that the banks, you didn't hear what he said? He said that if you're a new bank that's coming into this
but-
market,
but-
so
but
like
you know-
that,
but you know
that
what-
the person that is giving you money, you should think
But you know
about the
what?
person
But you know
and give him
what?
interest
But
rate.
you know what, Tunji?
Like,
You don't need to even have this, clarion call. The truth is,
It's a clarion call.
the truth is, the fintechs, right? Moneypoint did 1 trillion in loans last year.
Yes.
I was gonna say.
And why Moneypoint is Moneypoint has used the data points that he has from people.
what was the interest rate he was charging?
They were not materially different from what commercial banks.
No, I think the rates are quite higher.
No, they were
So
not
I
materially
run
different.
a
That's my
private
point.
credit
They were not
strategy,
materially
right?
different. But I'm saying-
run a
I'm saying
private credit strategy.
they use the
I have a
data.
cost of funds, like you said, right? I run a private credit strategy. As much as I want to lend to everybody, as much as I want to be the man of the people and say what you need.
Can't with
Yes, because I have a responsibility to my investors,
Simple.
right? And that comes
And I get
first,
that. And I
right?
get that.
I struggle to find viable SMEs with proper balance sheets to actually lend to, and then to make my cost of funds on this side, on the liability side, right?
What's your current rate? What's your lending rate?
Very good question.
Bam! That's where the market stops. See. So for
Tunji is my investor. Ask him how much he gave me for this. Yeah, exactly.
How much is it? Give me my 5%. I give you my 5% by now. Since you're being altruistic now.
You know the thing is, and the great thing for me is that I've been on both sides of the table. I've been extremely poor to the point where Arnold wouldn't have taken my meeting. Right? To the point where I can give him money to save for me. Right? So I've been on both sides of the table and I know why. Now, on the time why I was giving him money to save for me, I told him, see, I was doing it for you.
Say now, you be my guy.
Now you be my guy. You get. But when I needed money,
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody showed up. And this is the story of the Nigerian economy. Do you get? This is the story of the Nigerian
but
economy.
nobody should show up for you.
Entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs.
I mean, they are
so
willing
what
to
I'm
do
saying
things.
is that there are millions of entrepreneurs like me across the country who have a valid product, who have a valid design.
That's why you have angel investors.
No,
That's
the
their
angel
role.
investors.
Bank is not supposed to give you money.
Let me tell you.
Because you have an idea. Like, are you freaking joking?
Arnold was supposed to be an angel
Anyway,
investor.
let's move on.
He chose a business that has failed over.
You know,
That's
I
what I'm
was
saying.
saying.
I would have died now.
But I took a bet on you though.
But I was going to say something now, right? I was going to say something now, Ugo, which is, bank's money is not to be toyed with.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when you look at it and you look at the concentration of MPLs, it's the wealthy guys that go on the MPLs.
That's a different argument. That's a different argument.
Yeah.
But remember,
hold on. Because, like, you know, again,
I have a clap back
He's
for you,
not the
but go
poor
on.
people that has
I have a clap back for you now.
He's the rich
like I
boys.
said, in terms of the quantum and the sizing of defaults, where you find your large defaults are the $30 million and up type defaults.
Yeah, but
If I owe you
right?
30,000
But go and
naira
find
in
out what's going
Nigeria,
on with retail.
I am in trouble.
No, retail is
If you
bad.
owe me,
Exactly.
if I owe
No,
you
retail is
$30
bad. I'm not
million,
disputing
you
it.
are in trouble.
Retail, I'm not disputing it. I know this.
So
Yes,
retail is
right.
bad
We
too.
all like to paint this picture that only the big guys default. But
retail
this
is
No,
bad.
we know we're bad generally with.
In terms of total volume,
But
No,
guys,
no,
let's move to something more enlightening.
in terms
Something
of
better,
total
please.
volume, let's be real.
No, let's go to something better.
MPLs, let's look at the total volume. From the
You know,
big
I was
guys to
worried
the
to
little
just- to
guys.
just like
Total
gulping.
volume.
He's gulping a lot.
You
today.
cannot now.
His glass is empty already.
Okay,
You want to blame it on him.
Let's go.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on, please.
All
So
right.
let's
It's
move
fine.
something
It's
lighter,
fine.
please.
Yeah.
Let's move. Mojola, please. What's going on in the power sector? We just want to know.
lighter?
It is. There's some good stuff they're doing.
Oh, I mean, you guys, but
Yeah, I don't want to. No,
I'm going to say again, I don't have lights.
no, we have not had lights.
Wait, how much you move?
For days.
I thought you
I'm
moved.
band A, dude.
I thought you'd move.
I moved.
Oh, but you didn't hear Band A is the new D, bro.
I'm band A.
That's a new
paying out to my. There's no light.
That's
I
a new
literally have
D.
to call. I'm installing
Do you know
inverters
what?
now.
Do you know what?
That's
do you
a
know
new
what?
D.
I never
You know
thought
how
I'll ever say
ridiculous
that
it is?
word inverters in my
You know how
life.
ridiculous it is?
Right.
My
I'm
inverter
getting-
guy. My inverter guy is what calling right now.
You know.
My
That's why I said we're moving
My inverter guy.
We're moving to better talk because my inverter guys are cleaning out the house.
Before
My inverter guy gave me a quote of 9 million naira for 3-bedroom apartment.
Yes, no, it's not about the apartment.
it's about
It's about what you
walked
want
around
to
and I'm
use.
like,
It's about what you want to use.
Yeah, but what I'm going
but
to
I want
say.
everything
9
on.
million naira for what?
But what I'm
Exactly.
going
No,
to
that's
say
cheap,
anyways.
Is that
Not
cheap?
everything old.
Is it
That's
cheap?
cheap.
Lithium batteries?
That's cheap.
Which
that's
you have
cheap.
to change in like 2 years or 3
That's
years.
cheap. Yeah, because
I
our lithium
never
batteries.
thought I would say the word
Our lithium
inverter.
batteries.
But what I'm
So I'm literally having to
saying-
But
understand
let's
Don't
allow the
spend 9
expert
million
talk
naira
now.
on this guy.
Can we allow the
Yes,
expert
please,
talk?
the expert talk.
That's what we're here, please.
Mojola, over to you.
So
Hold on. Let's set the tone. Let's set the tone, please, because we have a lot of very naive people about what you're about to say here. Yeah,
Please
so
Wow.
No,
we want
Because I know that.
expertise. You and I are the past. I think it's very naive about power. They just
I just want lights.
They just complain.
End of story.
They
They
just
just want life.
I want lights, man.
So
I want lights, dude.
we know how bad grid power is, and I don't want us to just demoralize ourselves with grid power story here.
No, but we need to
But
hear
the question is, there's no story, trust me. What exactly is happening on the alternative side at the moment? Like, what are the trends now? Because, to be honest, like you said, you're seeing a lot of renewable guys, whether it's solar and all that. A lot of households now have
Plus
solar
this,
and all
what do
that.
you call that battery now?
lithium battery.
Lithium battery. There's one that we used to have before. What it's called?
Lead acid.
Sorry.
Lead acid.
The lead acid one. So it's now lithium is now
Lithium is meant
fad.
to be like 10 years, but in Nigeria it's like 2 years, 3 years.
Lithium is 10 years.
It's meant to be 10 years, but in Nigeria it's like 3 years. But what's going on? What's going on in that space at the moment?
Please break the lies that they are telling us.
No, not in their space.
So, I mean, a lot is happening. A lot is happening in, I'll probably say in the power sector. And, you know, when you say power sector in Nigeria, I personally, my own view, I don't like when we use the word expert. I feel that expert means is working, is functional, is existing the way that it should. I think maybe we have professionals and maybe people who are more knowledgeable than others. And I'm saying this very carefully. Of course, we know that it's not working the way that it should. And one of the major things that's happening now is the trend, for renewables. Initially started with residentials. You had a lot of commercial industrial guys who didn't have a lot of confidence or a lot of trust. Now that is changing. You're having factories that are powered, in some cases partially by renewables, in some cases wholly by renewables.
Factories?
Yes.
I heard
yes.
part of the villa is also powered by renewables.
We read that. I don't know the details of exactly
That was
what.
posted by Senator Dino Melai.
Can we just allow experts to talk?
You know, so and when you also look at that trend, I think, was it NEC that came out and said something about all the discos needing to have, I think it's 20% or so. I can't remember if it's 10 or 20% of the power that is distributed, embedded generation coming from renewables. Now, it's one thing to also have this whole talk, but it's also another thing to see capital to actually start to follow it. And I think in the last 2-3 years, there's been immense amount of
capital.
How much?
Really?
Maybe like, I think $3-5 billion different.
What?
Yes, different reports. So if you look at the World Bank DES program, World Bank alone is doing about $750 million. That's ongoing, through the REA. There's JICA, the Japanese, Rural Electrification Agency. There's JICA. JICA, I think they're doing, is it $1 billion? AFDB is involved. If you look at that whole program, it's about $1.2 billion. There's the Mission 300 one, where there's also a lot of commitment from Rockefeller Foundation, from SC4O, from everybody. So it's clear that this thing is no longer lip service.
Issue.
There's when money starts to follow it, something is happening. But I also think that I say to folks that if you really want rapid change and rapid scale, there needs to be involvement of the discos in anything that you're doing in Nigeria. And I think that, so for instance, we are not really keen on doing residentials, except I call it
Why are you guys not keen on doing residential?
Because it's ebullient. It's difficult. When I say like cost of customer acquisition, efficiency, optimization, all those things when you run.
I have this guy. He's in our estate. He gives us power. Starts with like, maybe like because my own is like a mini estate and estate, so we're like 6 units, and then there's some other guys just beside 12 units. 8 units, so we're like 14. He starts with us, brings a generator, gives us diesel, right? And then connects us, gets meters. We pay for the meters, gets meters and connects. And the whole idea is give us 24-hour power. And then from then on, he starts to expand into other guys, expand into...
So what does he do? He has a
generator. Yeah, a generator. Then he expands and he buys a 100 kVA generator, buys 200 kVA generator, and now supplies, let's just say maybe a quarter of the residents within the estate. Now, but the problem he's facing, which we're facing, is diesel, because he uses diesel and we're paying like 700 naira per kilowatt hour.
I was coming there.
You're paying probably 300-400, 700 naira per kilowatt hour, which means to do 1,000 units, which is typically what you probably do, is like 700K, and that's like you use your AC in the night alone. Now, but if you ask the guy, he tells you, well, we're like, okay, why don't you explore other sources? Why don't you use gas? So the point I'm making is that his challenge is not acquisition. His challenge is gas resources, and the capital. Like he says, well, to buy a gas generated generator, which exists now,
there's the
minimum
minimum
is like 80,
and the minimum
million, and then to fit it up, and because the customers exist already. People, we don't even bother about Eco Disco again.
But there's a minimum order quantity for it to be viable in terms of gas.
So this is what I mean. So when you look at, there are different sources, there are different means. If we come to this guy who's doing diesel, let's talk about the gas. You can't really buy 100 kVA gas generator and all of that. Yeah, you probably want to do 1 meg, 1.5 meg, for the economics. Now, if you want to do this
for the economics, okay.
Yes, for the economics to. For the economics to make sense, maybe for you to land your price at like 280, 290.
Yep.
People are happy to do 400 even.
So that's fine. But I'm saying the hurdle to get from where this guy is to there. So when we started, on our own side, we thought, biggest market, did a lot of research. Biggest consumption happens in the residential sector. About 60% plus is actually residential in Nigeria. I was surprised when I found that out. But that's correct. But then what's the bankability of powering residentials? Now, in Nigeria today, and this will piggyback, off some of the conversations we've had earlier. In Nigeria today, if I say I want to power an estate, let's say I need maybe 1 billion, 1.5, 2 billion naira, and I go to a fund or some other person to say, hey,
Tunji,
we can power this estate.
Arnold,
these guys are willing to pay XYZ. The typical requirements, that you will get asked for, from investors in that space will be, is there a minimum take or pay, which makes sense. Even though the estate has been running for 10, 15 years, everybody wants to see minimum take or pay. Is there a bank guarantee?
Minimum take or pay mean?
Minimum take or pay means, we have 1 megawatt, 1.5 megawatt hours. So maybe every month you consume a minimum kilowatts.
Because that determines your break even.
That determines your break even. So this minimum take or pay, bank guarantee, there's no residential estates in Nigeria that is really going to be able to provide you a bank guarantee. Many of them, not all, are not even structured properly, having like a registered entity. You have some that are, but everybody says, we can't give you a bank guarantee. That's possible in the commercial side. So you have maybe guys who alone can take risk. Now, I'll give you an example. There's a Chinese company, that came to Nigeria. I can't remember if it was 2 years or so ago. Set up a plant, a gas plant, I think it's 10 megawatts or something like this, in that whole Shagam area. They didn't have a single customer, not one.
Wow, 10 megawatts.
When they set up. They set up that plant first, and then after setting up the plant, they start going from door to door to door to knock, to say, hey guys, we have power. And people are buying. But I'm also saying that this is coming back to the capital question, in the sense that you talk to a fund. Yes, there are funds that are committed, that are dedicated to doing these things, and they're actually doing transactions. But again, you are saying to this guy, I'm going to do IRR 26%. 26 is not bad. 28 is not bad.
Not bad for entire. Even though Nigeria likes that.
But you have a lot of risk. This guy then looks at it that this same cash I'm going to give to you, I can put into Treasury bills and get 23%.
Is that not what I said at the beginning?
So the question then is, and it's not about the guy, the question is, what's the incentive? Which comes back to, why are you getting that type of IRR pricing? So you have guys who are willing to pay. If I do 700 naira per kilowatt hour, I will certainly not be 28%. I won't even be in the 20s. If I'm in the 30s, maybe I'm like mid 30s.
You're in the 40s in IRR.
Exactly. But to find and to structure, and which is why I said when you're working with the discos, if you come back to the discos today, what's the highest the guys are charging? Band A, 209, 225.
Yeah, without the power
and
itself.
without the
That's what Arnold said, yo. Not me. That's what Arnold said.
and
For 1 hour a day.
There's the challenge of these guys have the mass of customers. So if
Yeah.
you're looking to pick up 5,000 customers, 10,000
You want to just
customers,
go and give it to them.
really it's just best to say, hey guys, let's structure something.
So
that's-
is funding the problem?
No. It's obviously
question.
not. He has said.
No, because he's saying
I
that he
used to think
can't.
it was.
He's saying that it's
So what I want to think about, what I want to ask is, in terms of, because you said earlier that you can't do without discos.
Not that you can't do without, but if you want to set up a business that will scale, really, this guy that is going to do 6, there's some type of funds you want to talk to.
So let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is the market design, and it's broken.
Very
And I've
broken.
told people in that sector a lot. So all he's saying is, you want to disrupt an entire sector. So let's assume this is a tech business. Let's assume this is be money point or paystack and all that. And you want to come on disrupt, or even about you want to come on disrupt the pension sector, right? And all the problems that he's had with micro pensions and all that. And to disrupt it, you have to go to the bank and you have to go to PFAs. Would you disrupt it? Or you want to disrupt, Paystack wants to disrupt, you have to go through NIBS and you have to go through banks.
Okay.
No, so
there's an infrastructure.
Yes, so the point is that so the point is that on the funding side, you're not going to go to banks
to fund
to try to
admin
fix
rates.
a problem that is nascent. Because they haven't seen it. There's no
It's how they've
history.
operated for
There's not
years.
somebody who's chopped the cane.
Yes, how they've operated
So,
for years.
you must operate for years without with losses.
Yeah.
So all you need is patient capital. Right? So you need patient capital who can wait through that's one. And then two, you're not going to ride on existing players because existing players will trample on you because they don't even want you to be there. It's almost like saying MTN would have succeeded with Nitel's help. How?
I understand,
I play in this sector, so it's not going to happen. Because Nitel, and it's not because Nitel doesn't want it to happen, it's just that the way they are
Is the way they are.
for it to happen, you want to kill them. So they're not
So-
going to allow you.
So
Do
what
you
is-
understand? So what
what
needs to,
is happening
in the
is-
case that he's just clearly described now, what needs to happen is there's got to be they investing in the power sector has to be so attractive for not even private equity guys, for VCs
Yeah, but
to
you-
put money
but then-
in.
but then you
and they
also-
put money in and they say, we're going to put money in here. Whether it's 5 years, we don't know how it's going to come out. And then they don't see.
But on the question of funding, let me ask.
I'm coming. There are some guys today. Sorry, I'm going to allow you. There's some guys today who I know raised VC funds, and this is what they do. Their business model was essentially they go into estates and they supply all sorts of utilities to estates. They give them meters. Estate uses them for their estate service charge.
collections.
Estate uses them for collections. Estate uses them for gate pass and all that.
Why are you talking about him like this? I know those people.
One of them is my guy.
Hey,
They've
my
been
guy,
doing that.
I can't name your name, but
So
you know
they've been
yourself.
doing that.
Yeah,
These guys didn't need
manages both
anybody's.
estates, I know.
They didn't need any agreement from any bank or any what do you call that thing again? Bank guarantee. They didn't need any excuse from discos to get in there or to speak to NERC who's in Abuja sitting down there. Like lame dogs, They didn't need to do any of that. They just essentially went in there and disrupted the entire thing. So to me, I think I had the coffee table with the commissioner once of power and legal. And I told him, I said, you're my guy. You know that we've been in this space. It's not gonna work if it's not disruptive like this.
Dre, what you're saying is 100% correct. But you see, when you're doing what these guys did, and when you're doing generative and distributive power, the capital requirements are a world apart.
Same thing for tech.
Yeah, no. The capital requirements.
How much do you think these guys are raising every day?
No. So let me explain. I'm not. When you look at tech, there is a history. So when you say fintech, when you roll out the history in power is predominantly negative in Nigeria. Yeah. So if you speak to any VC, the question will be, give me one example, or two examples of success. Everybody wants to be the next.
No. Why would I not agree with you? Let me tell you why I would not agree. I'm not even agree.
Do
you know why I would not agree?
Let me land. Okay. So when you say fintech, everybody immediately thinks, oh, we can be the next. You know, all these guys, Paystack, Flutterwave, all these guys, many examples. In power, it's almost like there's a deviation from the rule. For you to, in quote, succeed. People are succeeding, but the models that are succeeding are the models that are spoken about, which is you go, you sign a power purchase agreement, you raise a bank guarantee, you do a minimum take or pay. That's the defined route. I'm yet to see one person, who has said, oh, I don't have a bank guarantee, I've raised the cash, except maybe it's, oh, I'm doing my own industry, I have a neighboring customer, I'm selling it. And that's because of the kind of capital that's available. You understand what I'm saying? And which is why I said also, if you talk about scale, where you say, hey, there's no power where you're staying. Whichever disco is in your area, let's partner. We give these guys power. Let's structure something. You said something. Will neither want MTN to exist? The next question that you also have, not from a private sector challenge, but if you are collaborating with a disco, is a pricing challenge, which of course affects your returns. So there's a blockage in that side because discos have a cap on what they can charge. But when you look at the go private, it's very possible, and there are a lot of companies or a few companies that are making success, but the ease of access to capital because of the bankability requirements of it is difficult, which is why I said to you.
That's why I don't want to hear bankability, but
those Chinese guys that I spoke to you about,
that's it now.
Came with capital.
That's why I said patient capital.
That's why I said VC, and
that's why I said patient capital is the one can solve it.
In my former estate, there was an IPP project around the area. When we moved in, they were really good. As in, they were not giving us power like regularly, so we had to approach the IPP like, yo, why? So they were like, first of all, you're a very small estate. We don't even know you are there. That I felt very small on that day. But they said the reason why we even connected you is because there's a bigger estate beside you.
Exactly.
So
they need to go through you.
So it's because of that estate you even got us in. Now, that estate is a troublesome estate. So we cut them off regularly. Whenever we need to shed load, we just shed them. He had the reason.
Collateral damage.
but my point, I was going to because the distribution, that MPP is dead now. I don't know what happened. They just packed up and they don't give us power anymore. I don't know what happened to their turbines. But I wanted to ask the distribution infrastructure. If it is, because from that IPP, it tells me you can have significant FX risk and that die. I don't know what happened to that.
See,
that
Tunji, I
IPP.
played in this sector for almost a decade. I can tell them clearly what the issues are. See, for this sector to survive, right, it has to be creative destruction.
Completely.
Creative destruction. Without that, it's not going to work because the issues are pervasive. You can't you can't fix it.
Yeah.
And it's no one's fault. A lot of people that are playing there today inherited it. So you can't fix it. That's why I always use MTN had to succeed today because they had to basically build a new. It's almost like fiber today.
Yeah.
The fiber guys, I hope you know that fiber initially, they were meant to ride on, for example,
existing
distribution network.
Yeah.
Some of them still ride on it now, albeit illegally.
Yeah.
But there's no way you would have gotten fiber to home internet to people without laying those cables and all that.
The difference
it's not
between
possible.
the difference
So
between
the
those
point,
guys and where our discos are today is the cost reflectiveness.
No,
Yeah.
I disagree.
No,
I disagree. You know why I disagree? You know why I
there's
disagree?
something he
I
said.
disagree
There's something he said.
because cost reflective tariff is no longer an issue.
So there's something he said.
for
There's something he
independent
said.
provider. I can tell you why now.
Not for IPPs, but I'm saying if you look at discourse today.
No, for discourse, yes, it is. But we're not talking about discourse now. Even
Okay.
if you give discourse,
he's talking about
even if you
disruption.
give discourse
I
cost
think
reflective tariffs
yeah.
today, give them cost reflective tariffs. The challenges they face still exist because they have legacy debts. Someone has got to pay for those legacy debts, and it goes all the way up the chain.
yeah.
So that on its own is a problem. Even if you like, give them cost reflective tariff. Those legacy debts
Yes,
exist,
see,
and
yeah.
then they still have a lot of customers that are not meter. So that's why I don't want to dampen the situation with discourse.
No.
matters.
So
we're
he
talking
did say,
about-
he did say
we're talking-
something about VC funding.
Yeah,
Is
so
it-
that's my
wait,
point.
I need to say
Is it VC
No,
funding?
wait. No,
Patient capital.
Maybe
So
not
VC
VC.
funding
Maybe
is
not
not
VC.
the money you
Because it's
need.
not equity. It's
So-
definitely not.
no.
It's not private.
No,
It's
so-
not private
so-
cap. It's
How
not
about all
private
the
equity.
development banks?
Whatever.
What
No,
after
you
the other
need-
guys?
you
What after
need
the
impact funds, right?
Well,
Definitely not VC.
No.
Yeah.
It's just a patient capital.
Impact funds are already in sector. We have Bill and Melinda Gates. We
There are
have
plenty
all those.
now.
They are there. They are not. They don't have the same level of. And the
what
way
is
those
it?
things
So
are
if those
structured,
guys-
the way those impact funds are structured is that they have a set of metrics that are not necessarily aligned with reality, because those metrics were set in Washington D.C. and this is Lagos, Nigeria.
Not,
They are-
not like it used to be, anyways. But
So
let me.
VC funding is a lot more close, and I say this because I know it happened in my space. My space was one where I entered, and people who I serve. Now, when I say serve, I'm talking about administrators looked at me when I came in and felt he would die soon. I see his energy. He will go soon. And it's evolved into, so we didn't get all the funding we wanted when we started. In fact, we got multiple no's. Do you get? The yeses are now to the point where I'm saying, I remember I sent a message to an investor recently who was trying to get another investor to come in. And I
also
said,
told
I
me
don't
no
need this
recently.
guy's money.
You also told me
I
no
don't want his
recently.
money. But the thing is, there was a
also told
time
me
when
no
I was
recently.
begging on my knees for money and nobody would give. But because my sector, it's the same questions they asked. Why would somebody put his money in pensions when they can put their money in piggyvest? And I was saying they are two different products. Yes, at the bottom, they seem similar, but they're two different products. I was trying to explain it, but it took a while. But we've now gotten to the point where it now looks like a viable product. You can now see investors coming in. So I think the disruption in that space is what, and it needs to be creative. It can't be following the pattern. And as he said, you can't, MTN couldn't have built on Nitel. It would have never worked. Do you get? You need to find a way
So do you
in
know
your space.
the other problem that they have, and which I think you sort of alluded to, was collection, and that's also some of the problems that some of the guys have had. Now, one of the problems that most of the IPPs have had as well is, so the IPPs, as you would expect, started by serving individual customers. Maybe they serve Lagos State or they serve some company. So you now face schema risk. Because what then happens is that you service that company, maybe that company's top line is not doing very well. The company starts to delay.
EFCC
on paying
capture the
you,
person.
or they one problem or the other.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, you built a captive power plant or you built one thing, and then you can't recover your money, and then the investments just go south, right? And there's nowhere else to move that power to. Or you hardly get those problems with retail. Now, during the time you have those problems with retail is if maybe you can't meter them adequately and you can't get into the estate to find it, because you're always going to get people who probably want to steal power, bypass and all that. And then when you sometimes increase your tariffs, some of them might say they don't want to do anymore, and then just so take or pay issues. So they're
Schema
usually
risk,
those sort of things, which interestingly telcos have found a way to surmount one way or the other. So my point is, you can have a Fiber One or a MTN fiber or whatever in one estate, and then they lay their cables, and then they're serving you, and then one day you just pick up and say, man, I'm done with MTN fiber. It's not strong enough. I want to move to fiber one, and then you go to fiber one, right? So MTN has already built the cable coming to your side, so that has happened already.
You've already invested in that.
You probably may have paid for connection and all that. They have subsidized it, but the advantage they get is scale.
Yes.
Because they are not just, it's not just a fiber location. One in one location. So that's not what exists today. So what exists today in the space is you just have one IPP guy and his maximum capacity is 8 megawatts. That's not enough.
Yeah.
You gotta have like 100 megawatts.
Which is why
across different places that you're serving the same thing. So that if these guys mess up,
it
close
can
down,
offset.
you move your generator, move to other places. So without that,
which goes back to the point.
And we need multiple players in the generation, in the distribution, in the metering.
It's just so convoluted.
In
but you see,
the metering.
It's just it's like giving more power,
wait,
right?
just hold on. You know,
No, but you understand? It's like
it's always like I was something I read something where about story about ESPN when it was a go read the ESPN story. So some guys cable cutters they took ESPN out of their cable.
Their bouquet,
ESPN was like expensive. This is the history of ESPN. ESPN was like very expensive and all that. So then the cable cutters, the cable guys themselves, the cable companies, now started getting calls from, all
Customers.
these hippies in the US and were like, why don't they have ESPN anymore? We're like, well, ESPN was expensive. And the guy was explaining, and the guy says, I want my football. I just want to watch football.
Yeah,
that's all.
I just want to watch football.
Yeah.
Give me my ESPN. I just want to watch football. I just want to play hockey. And at the end of the day, they had no choice.
but
And then you had to bring ESPN back. So at the end of the day, all the
It's
customers
more power,
want,
man.
and that's the point.
more
And I
power,
think
yeah, it's more power.
that mindset is what's going to drive this thing, right?
Yeah.
I hear your point, but the tall and short is that without patient capital, without skill, power doesn't work. Even for the inverter guys themselves, and that's why they are struggling. That's why they bring a lot of substandard batteries. I don't know where these things come from. Where do they come from? All these substandard batteries.
I don't know.
Because how can you have, I don't know, you guys tell me, how can you have lithium batteries that should last 10 years?
So I think on
And
this,
then 3 years, my own guy says, no worry now, Baba,
This
we'll
is
change
a
that.
5
Baba, you don't spoil.
This is a
Baba, don't
5
worry.
kilowatt.
Baba, you get warranty now. We're going to replace that.
see,
We're going to replace that.
let me just say this.
deal with credible players.
Let me
Yeah.
just say
How do you
this.
know?
You know.
you-
And
Where?
another thing
We
we've
see all
also
of them on
seen-
Instagram.
No.
That's how
So,
we know
so
where they are.
that market is which is why I said we came out of residentials when we started as a business, and we decided that look, want to give power, even if it's renewables, to commercial, industrial, and to also partner with the utilities. Yeah, private.
You got to
and-
come back to residential.
Yeah, private and public. Residentials, there's a lot of skill there, but there's also a serious lack of education. And when I say
In
lack of-
what sense?
Huh?
In what
In what
sense?
sense? In what sense?
No,
Yeah.
so when you give several times, when you give a customer a quote and the customer says 9 million, he says to you, oh, somebody else gave me for 5. And I sit down and I say,
right now. I'm literally looking for cheaper quotes. I'm like, I'm not paying 9 million.
I can give you for 4.7.
Give it to me for 3 and let's do it.
and I say, look, seriously, like, I need you to understand something.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe like more than half of the work that we do is customer education.
Yeah.
On every sector
True.
that we play. And I say to them, look, I start asking some basic questions. Yeah. Basic questions like, what's the size of the PVRA, or what's PVRA?
What's me,
That's essentially like the aggregate capacity of solar panels. Like,
That's
the guy
great.
didn't
Grammar
put
is always
the guy,
pretty.
the guy, no, hang on.
The guy just wants power, bro.
He says,
I just want power, bro.
No, hang on. He says, the guy didn't
I want on
put
TV.
the size of the panels. He just gave me 6 panels. I'm like, no, check what we said to you. We put
Man, we don't
the
check those
capacity.
things. I'm just telling you.
Which is what I'm saying to you.
So that's the problem with how you guys are designing your products. That's the product problem.
So
I'm
that's
telling
what-
you.
No, it's like saying I want to buy a car and you just say, I want to buy a car for 10 million, boom.
Mojola, I'm telling you, it's a
I want
product
to
problem.
buy a car
I just
for
want to
10
buy a car for 10 million. That's what I just want to buy. I just want to buy a Toyota Corolla.
Let me just-
That's the most.
It's a product problem.
You already
Just
know.
my
Million
price
and my
points.
bo- that's
It's a
the
product
price.
problem.
You already know
It's a
first
product
and
design
foremost
problem.
whether you want a manual, whether you want a automatic,
No.
whether you want petrol,
I
whether you want
want buy
Ross,
car,
it's
10
obvious you have
million.
never been poor. It's obvious. It's very, very obvious because the problem is this.
Your mic, please.
The problem
I
is
just
this,
want buy car.
If you are struggling and you have struggled to now put together 6 million naira, there's no kind of machine. See, even if the car flies and it's 7 million naira, you cannot buy it. 6 million is on your hand.
That's
See, sir, the thing is,
See, bro, I don't want guy.
hey,
For the last 10 years, I'm not saying 5 years, I didn't say 3 years. For the last 10 years, I have been convincing him to buy brand new tire. I'm not joking. Brand new tire. So now,
I know
so you
the
can imagine that the tire cost of
I know the
today
thing.
was probably the cost
I
of
know
brand new
the thing. I
tire
know the
10 years
thing.
ago.
No.
You say, oh my dead body.
No.
You the Chris.
Arnold,
Now your car.
Arnold,
Now your car.
Arnold, I
He
swear.
said, "Make sport. I'll buy an hour tomorrow."
No. This is
He
valid.
can't buy.
This is valid.
It's
I used to
price
do
point
this
because
too.
he doesn't understand how he will just bring out 120K when I buy brand new tire.
Yeah.
I just go.
So for you people that
He
buy
buys
brand new
20 tire.
tire, for you
Even if he
people
buys
that
the
buy
tire
brand new
4
tire,
times.
you don't
What
understand.
happened?
No. See,
So
the
what is
first,
it because the tires on
no.
the road? That shouldn't be
I
brand
know.
new?
See,
I know, you're too-
see. So the difference in price between buying a second-hand tire and a brand new tire might be like 5K to 97K.
Oh, okay.
The difference, right? So you feel you buy tire. So when you buy second-hand tires, you change them like maybe every 3 months. So your mindset is like, why would I pay 97K? Why I can pay 5K? But the day you buy a brand new, and the first time I bought brand new tires, one money just entered. You know those money that used to enter. So I was like, let's just change all the tires. And I realized I didn't change my tire for like maybe almost a year.
Easily
I
2
now
years.
understood. I say, is
So
this
why
what
did
you
you buy
do?
brand new tire?
Yeah.
So my point is that you're selling a retail product.
So you need to understand
at
how
the end of the
retail
day-
No, but you see, I think Mojola has solved his own problem, which is why he went out of the retail game.
No, but
Right.
but can
But
you
it's not.
No.
There's still a
Do you know
problem.
Venko? Do you know Venko?
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah,
Yes.
Venko, my
Have you
guys too.
spoken to them?
No,
I think we'll bring Chidi on. We'll bring Chidi
You
on this
need to
podcast
speak
of this
to-
day.
You
Let
need to
Chidi give
speak
you
to
the story.
Venko
Yeah.
because Venko, I'm moving from one estate to another estate. Venko manages both, and it's weird that I didn't even have to change the app. I just needed to add the second
No,
estate.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm still keeping the previous one.
most of them- most of them- yeah, most of them.
My
And
estate management
I
app.
just feed the wallet and I
Same
pay
thing.
light here, I pay light
Yeah,
there.
so that's why I said
So
that.
that's the kind of company that
It
it will
is.
help with
It's
distribution.
just that I've face media. If not, to say I said I'm done, power. If not, I mean, like, man, if you really like, it's just, I mean, it's a patient capital issue and a skill issue.
Shout out to
But
Tunji, by the
I
way.
understand why people would just want to focus more on
Creation.
B2B. I can understand that. But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, but let me take it up. I'm gonna have something for you.
I know. Have you ever bought second-hand
Anyways,
tires?
what
before?
I'm just gonna say
What?
is,
Have you ever bought second-hand
I
tires?
I
believe
only
there's
do
a
brand
big
new.
market. What?
You've never bought second-hand
Let us
tires
know
before?
10
what's your
years, 10
experience.
years
Do you
ago.
buy second-hand tire
That's like 10 years
or do
ago.
you buy brand new
that's-
tire?
See, my view on this thing
Let us
is
know.
you get what you pay for, right? So I always try to.
Wow, what are you saying now?
Do you know understand? So are you saying that it's the person that buys 100 naira recharge card or 50 naira
Does he know that there's
data
1.5?
does not
These are
exactly
issues, bro.
does not get what he wants for? I don't understand. Not using data.
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Wait, let me tell you something. Let me ask you
He knows what
another.
I'm trying to say.
Do you turn off your data? Do you like go
At
to your
night.
iPhone and just like
At
just
night.
go here? Do you do
I
that?
don't need to.
Exactly. So there are people who
Exactly.
they only turn on data. When, so you know your own is real time. Some people don't need real time.
Yeah.
It's just
I know,
No, but I
it's
know
just
for
tell
Asian
you
markets.
Do you know-
when
do
you
you
want
know
your
Asian
information
markets
to
at 1
flow.
a.m., 2 a.m. because I'm paying.
That's you.
This is what Asians
You don't-
do.
But anyway,
you don't
guys,
get this-
let's
you
move on
don't
to the
get
next.
this.
Yeah, we're getting to the end of Drinks and Mics today. One of the things that I want to talk about was AI, right? I was reading I think it was something that Tumba shared in one of the groups, and it was about some research report. Well, I'll get to a lot of other stuff, but some research report about AI and jobs, and the point was that by the time AI takes everybody's jobs, AI is going to die itself because
Where are you going to? We're going back to the sea.
yeah, like who is now going to
Who won't have
be
jobs
C.
who's
to
going to
pay for things? Yeah.
who's going to pay for it? Like, what's going to happen? Like, because at the end of the day, C won't have jobs and then investments won't come in. So, so this whole thing about AI taking jobs and all that, maybe we're just the ones fooling ourselves. It's probably never going to happen.
I think
because
again,
the global economy is not designed for that to happen.
but with every innovation that has come, and I think we had this conversation the last time I was here. With every innovation that has come, what you've always had is there's been this over-exaggeration of what it would lead to in terms of unemployment. And what we've always found is that new types of employment come about. So I was seeing a job posting at Anthropic for an events manager 2 days ago in New York.
When Anthropic can do it itself.
for in-person type events, $400,000 a year. Right?
I think I'm in the wrong job, man.
But
I could be in person. I'll show up.
I'll show the best event for you.
what I'm saying is,
What?
there's going to be new things that will come through. There'll be the guys that would have to be AI safety specialists, whatever it is. The same way
Regulation.
I think the way I think about God bless you.
Yeah.
After you had this situation
Yeah.
in 0809, where you now had this big increase in compliance staff across banks.
Compliance became a big deal.
A
in the
big
West.
deal where I
Big,
think
such a
it's
big
probably
deal.
30% of headcount
Yeah,
across
yeah.
all the big banks,
Yeah, yeah.
right? You're going to see the
Big
same
deal.
things. Yeah.
And the money they were getting, compliance guys getting paid almost the same as traders.
It became
Yeah,
a
because
big
the
deal.
cost of compliance was now.
Exactly. You're getting these big fines from the DOJ, right?
compliance, yeah.
So what you're going to see is there's going to be some of that around standardizing the rules, around regulating that compliance. There will be other things that would happen because at the end of the day, it's going to create a new wave of operation for us as a species. Yeah.
I'm not even worried because the core things will still, they're still minors in 2026.
How do you mean
Man,
minus?
so I don't know,
They're minors, as in just the same way 300 years ago, people were going into
They're
the
still
earth.
farming. Yeah, they're still.
You get, they're still there today. There will still be jobs for everybody. I think that the context of how quickly the world is evolving really catches up with us. It is us that is worried about Anthropic.
I read somewhere as well that
There are a lot of
AI might
people-
also destroy prostitution.
Yeah.
How so? Like,
Yeah.
Well-
Sex robots, AI.
So if you
You
I
seem to
can
know
see-
so
I
much
can see how-
about
No,
I
this.
can
this
see-
subject.
No, I can see how this will happen. I can see how this will happen. So, if you've had, so there are two things.
Tunji's mind is firing. I can see this brain is firing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
if you
like
have,
this topic.
if you
He
have,
loves it.
if you have a consistent chat with, so right now, AI conversations are such that if you close the tab or you log out, it doesn't follow that history of the conversation. But now people are building plugins, just the same way it started with social media, plugins. So they are building plugins that continue the conversation. So even if you log out, the plugin saves
the chat flow.
chat flow. So when you start again, it's so what I'm saying is that the AI now has consistent conversations about who you are. Now, what I have been able to see about my interactions with AI is that it is very consistent in understanding who you are as a person. To a very large extent, very
especially
detailed.
Claude, actually.
You get
I've noticed it.
Now,
Claude is crazy.
imagine
very.
this person as a spouse.
So I don't know.
That's all.
But
I don't know.
No, I'm not being, but I can see how it will make sense.
Yeah,
to,
but
it will make sense to a product designer. Because I think in products,
So you
that's
think
my
that's
general
going to
flow.
disrupt the oldest Like,
Yes.
they claim is the oldest.
I think
or one of the
In
oldest.
2026, we're speaking to it's not largely seen as appropriate for one part of the species to approach the other sex or vice versa, and people are beginning to be more insular.
Yep.
And people are,
Yeah.
you know, you, in the gym, you are,
I think the whole-
you are being careful.
Could you paint a picture? How would this work really?
So I think let me just come in here real quick. So just look at the evolution, right? We went from meeting people one-on-one to having the Tinders, the Bumbles.
Yeah.
There's the one for the celebs as well, right?
Really?
Yeah. I've forgotten. I need to remember the name now. It will come to me.
And you guys seem to be experts.
Yeah, there was one person that said,
Yeah, but I'll remember.
there was
the
one
name.
that you pay £400 for something.
Anyway,
You know about things like this?
So there's
No,
all
there
this,
was a
there's all,
celebrity that
all of
talked
this
about
stuff,
it.
right? And at the end of the day, what happens is because people are operating behind their screens more than ever before,
Yeah.
working from home, people are no longer going out and just kicking game,
Yeah.
like it used to be. So you're seeing the rise of
kicking game.
which is basically go out to a lady and say, I like you, I think you're pretty, and you know, I'd like to have a drink with you. That's not happening anymore. People are swiping left or swiping right? On whatever
but
app
you're
it
still
is.
you swipe left and swipe right so that you can still go out.
Yeah, but
anyway,
you know
and
what?
I'm like,
Because so it's always an evolution. It starts from one point, it goes to the next level, right? And by the time you get to the latest point,
Before you know it,
it's a bit too
there'll
late.
be a full-blown marriage for people that have never met.
Because the problem that we have now is there's a rise in what you call the involuntary celibates, the incels.
Yeah.
And these guys are going to look and say, well,
never heard of that.
You haven't heard of
Incel?
incels?
You've done?
Nah, Dre, you're
yeah,
lying.
this guys are
Play,
coming.
you're playing, you're
Because,
playing.
I
I'm
mean,
saying it is
Yeah.
so
I
logical.
can see how this
It
happens.
is so
And eventually
logical.
celebrates is someone that doesn't
If you
want to be
think so,
celebrated.
product percent.
No,
They
they can't get it.
Wow.
It's what the
wow.
It is
And it's-
so logical.
So these
that
guys
it
are going
makes
to
sense.
have all of these AI
Yeah.
chatbot type partners.
And in
it's
fact,
easy.
there are already
Interesting.
people-
It reminds me of a series, one of my favorite series, Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
So there was this episode of this couple who so the guy basically carried. So when you put that thing in your ear and then you can just go back and see what you did. A lot of crazy stuff. All right. So, but one of the things that worry me the most about AI these days is deepfakes, man. You've seen the rise of it.
I saw one of you last
Have you
night.
seen
now.
Ugodre's one?
There's another one. There's another one.
There's one of Ugo.
There's like 5.
Multiple videos.
There's like 5.
They are
Listen,
bullying
I
him.
do think it's a higher
See,
level of flattery.
whoever is doing this
No,
thing,
I think so.
you know what's pissing me off the most?
I feel
You guys now put Tinubu's cap on my head.
Can you guys make one of me too, please?
I feel slightly jealous.
It's annoying.
They got like
Oh,
4
wow.
or 5.
You got like 5 deep fakes, man.
That's
Deep
crazy.
fakes.
He
Yeah.
has the latest
It'll be
one.
like-
And then
He
they
looks a bit
create
older.
what?
Are you
Look a
like
bit older than the latest one.
recommending stocks or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
like, on my stocks channel, I do.
Yeah. To be honest,
Tinubu is making mockery
I
of
think
this
you've
stuff,
arrived.
man.
I think you've arrived. Don't leave me hanging.
No, you're gonna hang on this one. You're gonna hang on this one. Go away.
I think you've arrived.
See, like, guys,
if they're making a deep fake of you, you've arrived.
That means
There's not right anything.
So
It's-
I've checked the people they do it with.
Yeah.
It generally is around people who talk about investments, who their personality is built around investments and conversations around economy. So they've done it with a few people, and I've seen the deepfakes, and people are calling it out. But it's flattery at the end of the day.
It's not flattery, bro.
Nah,
It is
but
not.
it's dangerous.
It
very
is dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
I got
Very dangerous.
I got someone to infiltrate some of that group.
Yeah.
These guys are extorting people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
It's a
People are here
it's a
joining the
next
group?
level Ponzi.
People are joining
Yeah.
the group?
People are joining.
Of course. And people are going to pay a fee.
People are
because
joining,
they
they're
want to
paying
get the
just
whale
like
of Ugodre.
yeah.
People are
Wow.
gullible enough to see it, and
Yeah.
this is a
They
good
use-
So it is
It's,
face.
why are you calling
and
my
it's-
name all the time,
Well, it's
bro?
your mouth that is talking now. As I'm looking at this thing,
Yeah.
your face is there. Although, if you were to look at it
The lips.
closely, you know that the
there's no-
lips do
yeah.
not
Yeah,
match
and people
what
say to me,
this
bro,
person
now
is
you be this. Not be
Right.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, and there's a lot of people they've used as well. So I think that's one of the problems that we have with AI. How
Yeah.
does I've sent some of these things to SEC as well, to regulators, and they're also very worried because everybody's also worried because we've worked so hard to get the stock market to where it is today.
Yeah.
And so what you don't want is people who are getting in through a lot of all these back channels that are all unscrupulous. So how do we fight things like this? What do you do? Because and these guys advertise on Facebook, they advertise on Instagram, and all these places.
Typically,
TikTok.
The regulation is always behind the technology.
Is it a regulation? Like
in terms of like how does the regulator try to preempt? Right? There's guys that their jobs is to be scammers. That's their job.
So is this the job of regulator or job of the law enforcement guys?
Law enforcement alongside regulation.
I think it has to be a combination of both, and not even just. So now there's deepfake, and because of the advent of social media, there's also false news. Basic one. Plainly just using your Twitter account or your IG account to post crap, and I think it's inevitable at some point for there to be regulations that guide these things, essentially. Because if there's no regulation, you can't say someone's done.
So should we regulate social media then?
Because this was I think it has to.
A few years ago, this was a no, but right now it's almost looking like you gotta regulate social media.
I think it has to be at some point.
I think social media has to be regulated.
No, I want to hear Tunji's.
I think it has to be controlled. There's a lot of false information. The amount of false information and fake news is worrying.
Some countries are regulating it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the minute we start regulating free speech,
nobody's
free speech. See,
censor.
So there are tools that exist today.
It
is just that the platforms have not seen a need.
So did you know
Otumba
in Dubai right now cannot video call you on WhatsApp?
I know.
Why? So it's not a regulating.
I want to go to Dubai, so let me.
So there must be a reason why they're not doing that.
So what I'm about to say is that
is the essence.
Why are you asking me this question?
Wait, because you're the one saying no now. So that's why I'm asking.
I want to explain why I'm saying no.
Okay.
So there are tools that exist that flag deepfakes immediately. They've existed for over a year.
So my question is, when they flag it, what is the action? No.
So the thing is,
it's almost damage control. That's happened already.
What it should be is that the deep fakes should be highlighted on the platforms. So for instance, like an X, it should just the same way they have community notes, it should instantly be able to just tell you this is AI generated.
It's not working. I have had mine for months now. I've reported to Facebook.
No, I'm not talking about you reporting.
It's still there.
No, Ugodre, I'm not saying about you reporting. I'm saying when the deepfake is created, there are tools that detect it.
Well, it's not working.
It's not about it is working. I'm saying the platforms have also seen, and they started it at the beginning when they were flagging this is AI generated. But they also realized that there was content being created by AI. So they stepped that down because, of course, they have to make profits, right? So it is not that the tools do not exist to flag AI immediately. It is just generally around the conversation of whether we feel it is important enough for us to flag it and step it down from platforms. Because, of course, there's so many things these platforms create. There's also the fact about platforms being dangerous for children. They've not really gone around that. They've just created some loopholes. But AI is critical. So your deepfake is the same infrastructure or the same tool used to create the deepfake for AI that creates all those. You've seen it now on Instagram or something where there's mango and two mangoes and two.
Oh yeah.
You cheated on me. You've seen all those things. You've seen all those things, right? Yeah. It's the same tool, right? It's just a different. Exactly. I'm saying that the platform doesn't want to kill those things. Yeah. But because of not wanting to kill those things, it has to allow them.
Because you need to understand. You need to understand why
you can catch it.
To regulations exist for a reason.
It's like I think free speech should not be impeded.
Yes,
but free speech also has to work within a framework.
Yes.
So, as much as you had traditional media, whether it was print, whether it was radio, there has always been regulators for them, right? I do not see why there shouldn't be some framework for ensuring that we don't have all sorts of things just flying around in terms of, because this is now what you will call new media,
Yeah.
right? So again, it's still media. It just happens to come through a different channel.
Yeah.
And the thing is that
it's so
it keeps
viral.
evolving.
Yeah.
It keeps evolving. It's viral. And I think that beyond being, because I think the issue, the concern that we all had with regulation in the past was because of political, being able to, free speech for political reasons. But now you're seeing that this thing is now a social problem. That's really the issue here. You're seeing it destroy children, destroy families. People are getting suicidal because of it. People are getting defrauded. So if you don't rein in on the big media guys behind these things,
I agree with you.
that's my point.
I think the issue we
so
had
it depends
then,
on how you're looking at it.
I think the issue that Tunji is looking at, right? And I think what happened, no, it's not even political. At the time, it was that it was being banned. It wasn't a case of regulation.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is not a ban.
It's not so I give me an example now. Tell me, so why should, if they have tools that exist, right? My lawyers right now we're working on whether we should sue. Because why should you have an image of someone, right, out there? It's almost like, it's almost like someone takes your image on a newspaper and puts you there and says, Tunji, are you going to sit down?
No.
The newspaper is not going to do that now. That's my point. So you've got to find some way to, nip things like this, because you never know. And we're still at the early stages. So you don't even know what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Are you going to wait till some guy down calls your kid and with your voice and says, how are you? Where are you? Oh, daddy, is this you? What daddy number is this? Oh, it's my new number. Don't worry, you don't have it. Where are you? Tell the driver, bring her here.
Yeah.
Or
So
It's gonna happen.
So I
Because
get
people are already
that.
using that to distort
Yeah.
money from people.
It's going to happen.
I
So
get
at that point, we're like, whoa.
I get that.
Yeah.
I sincerely get that.
It has to be
I
controlled.
sincerely get that. But, and this is the huge but around it all, there is a place for value of care, right? Personal care that you provide for those kind of situations, because they're open to everything, right? It can happen in school, it can happen in fun activities, it can happen at sleepovers, whatever, right? So you have to provide that value of care, right? My challenge is that this small box has a bigger box behind it, where by the time, because you were deep faked and we're trying to sort that out now, and we now create regulation to ensure that deep fakes do not exist anymore. Now we all cheer. But what it has now taken away from us is now more than what the deep fake created to begin with. Then I now cannot sincerely say with my open chest that I don't like the government of the day. Right? My challenge is always that, because once we start trying
I think it's two different things.
No, it is always
It's
the one
like,
and
it's
the
almost
same.
like saying that, you remember when they invent cars and you say no need for traffic lights and no need for cameras because
Seatbelts.
come on now, you gotta enjoy the way the car
Yeah,
works.
seatbelts.
But anyway, guys, it's 2 hours already on Drinks and Mics. We
Jesus
will continue
Christ.
this conversation as we move on. By the way, as we were in the studio recording, the US Fed just made a decision to keep rates the same.
And Powell
There's
said
no
he's
time
not
to
leaving.
discuss that. And Powell
says I'm not leaving.
says, I ain't leaving, bro. So this is going to be an interesting next few days, as they say.
Yeah, I just saw that pop up.
As they always say in movies,
What now?
watch out for the
What
next
now?
episode. I know that. So, fortunately, we can do buy, sell, or hold
All right.
for now, but we're going to do buy, sell, or hold for our key audience. That's the guys who subscribe to Drinks and Mics. We're going to do buy, sell, or hold after this. But for y'all who are listening, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Thank you, Mojola, for being on the set today.
It was a very
Thank you.
Interesting.
chaos-filled day. Man.
Yeah, hope to have you again next
I
time.
know that sounded.
Just
And of
like,
course,
wow.
for Pelumi as well.
It's the whiskey, man. It's the whiskey.
Want to see, but the whiskey, you can see.
Yeah.
The whiskey was
The first
a bit
time
of-
we've ever
a bit
gotten
of
the
justice
bottle
was
to this.
done to the
Yeah,
whiskey
we drank a lot. Wow.
today. Special shout out to our partners, Lead Drop for the drinks.
Yeah.
Whoops.
You see, you people should
Swan for
drink
the
more.
water, and of course,
That's where we go.
Mandela's
That's where we
as
go
well.
last time.
Mandela's latest partner.
Of course.
For all the support. You're going to see a lot of Mandela stuff very soon around here. We're
Yeah.
working on that at the moment. Thank you all for the support. We appreciate you. Until we do this again next time, do have a profitable week ahead. Bye.